Show us the edge. The chip on the shoulders, the fight and the passion that comes from within. Whoa. Try to win on every level. Yeah. Expectations high. Gotta show them you can fly. Play harder, better, smarter. Baby, put the league on notice. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah. Whoa, done seen the walk of shame enough. Wanna see the walk of winning, time to come up and bring out the outlaw. Don't every play, every possession. How bad you want it, love, you want it all. This ain't a blood of love, built for something greater. Attacking all obstacles, coming for the ring, my precious. You got the juice, the will, the heart, the fire. Show 'em the proof, show 'em that it shall be done. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah.
You're listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
For all things Pelicans, you're now tuned into the Pelican Postgame Report. Shout out to the fam. Appreciate y'all being in this live episode of the Pelican Postgame Report. PPR Friday is going down, fam. We got some news to talk about now. There's some stuff happened during this week for the Pelicans. Getting live and direct. And you know what they say, family? 3 time is the charm. Trajan Langdon is a Pelican no more. He tried for the last several years to leave the organization despite reports that he received an extension, a secret extension late last year. Wasn't enough to keep him in the building. So he's gone, and we know there'll probably be a quieter guy taking the general manager position than Trajan. And we'll cover it today on this episode of the Pelican Postgame Report, among other news and notes and items. And then later on, we'll open up the phone lines for the family members to chime in with their thoughts and direction of what they think is going on with the team. I'm Big Q. We got Lex and DC in the building as well tonight for the Pelican Postgame Report. Building, shout out to you guys for being here. Y'all, please feel free to do us a service by, if you're not a subscriber, hitting the subscribe button. And also feeling free to share the show on your social media feed, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. We're broadcasting on several big platforms. If you're chiming in, give us a what's up, a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, man. We up in this thing. So anyway, let's get going, man. First and foremost, shout out to you guys, Lex and DC. How are you guys doing on this night?
Doing all right.
All right.
All things considered, I think I'm doing pretty well. With all things considered.
DC, where you chiming in on this side of the world, bro? You're on your vacation, or where you chiming in, brother?
From Agatha.
Excuse me?
Agatha.
Okay, all right. I don't know what you're talking about, brother. All right, so let's move on. Know what the hell DC talking about? All right, anyway, man, let's get into this article, man, right here.
Stupid questions, you get stupid answers.
Argata, is that what you said? Argata? Is that like Shambhala and Argata, the book? Is that what you're talking about?
There you go. I thought you're a big fat liar. Somebody didn't know what I was talking about.
Man. All right, anyway, let's get into it, man.
Pistons, it should be in one of them books back there.
It is. It's one of them, bro. It's right there, the one right over my shoulder, right there, matter of fact, brother. That's what it is. All right, Pistons set to hire Trajan Langdon as the new president of basketball ops. Pretty much what it is they hiring him to be what David Griffin is to the Pelicans. So So they putting him there. So Pistons are planning to hire general manager Trajan Langdon as the franchise new president of basketball operations. It's soon, and that was said as of Thursday. It was yesterday. Adrian Wojnarowski dropped this. Pistons owner Tom Gores is hiring Langdon with sweeping power to make changes to the organization and set a course for the franchise future after a league worst 14 victories in several consecutive years in the draft lottery. The Pistons ran a lengthy search, which included a few people, including Billy King and whatever. But Langdon was the guy that they decided on picking up. Now, he comes armed with a sterling draft and personnel record in 5 years under Griffin, with the Pelicans, 3 seasons under Sean Marks as a general manager with the Brooklyn Nets. The Pelicans and Nets were considered to have had outstanding drafts with Langdon as a part of their organization, selecting Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, Zion Williamson, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones as a pretty impressive, and others. Pretty nice resume of players. Langdon will have the opportunity to sit down with Pistons GM Troy Weaver and coach Monty Williams and discuss how they can work together. The Pistons, who had the league's worst record, 14-68 last season, have the 5th pick in June's draft, got a bunch of decisions to make. Langdon, 48, was an All-American at Duke and 11th overall pick in the 99 draft with the Cavs, spent 3 years with the Cavs before embarking on a decorated EuroLeague career that included 2 championships, a EuroLeague Final Four MVP, and being selected to the league's all-decade team in 2010. He also has a hell of a resume in terms of being a recruiter of international talent. He had a pretty good reputation of doing that, picking international talent as well. So congratulations, man. Let me give a shout out to Trajan and congratulate that brother for finally getting it. Let that be something of an inspiration to all our family members out there. If first you don't succeed, you try and try again until you get away from the octopus. All right, so shout out on that. And I'm going to turn it over to Lex and DC. Y'all thoughts on Mr. Langdon, no longer a Pel, and he's going on to Detroit. Lex, what do you think about that?
I'm happy for him. I think obviously this is something that he wanted.
Right.
So he finally got it. It took some time, 3 years exactly. So, just happy for him. I think now that he's in obviously an upgraded role, he's able to do as he pleases without having someone else above him, superior, to interfere with his job. I think he dealt with a lot of that with the Pelicans, obviously, because I'll use just Kyra Lewis as an example. That was not Trajan Langdon's pick. For those of you all who don't know, I mean, we've talked about that many a times. That was Griff's pick. So whoever was in that draft, huh? What'd you say, DC?
He didn't say nothing, Lex.
Oh, okay. My bad.
I said nothing.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that's just an example. That's one example. I'm sure there's been other moments like we've gone through the draft many a times and we pointed out, man, why do we pick this guy over this guy? Why didn't we get him? Well, I'm pretty sure in that room that they sit in when they have their meetings and they're discussing, draft picks and all that stuff, at the end of the day, they went with basically whatever Griff said. He was basically that determining that last say, and he determined the outcome if that pick was going to be chosen. I don't think it was specifically just Trajan and the rest of the team that is delegated, that was hired to do that job. But I think that's the biggest reason why he wanted to leave. He wanted to empower himself. I don't know if you all noticed, but with this organization, there's different areas of this organization, job titles that aren't empowered. They're not empowered, not with Griff. I think Griff has some PTSD as far as with the Cavs, because we know that La GM was doing his job. So with him, I think he's at a stage in his life where he wants to try to control everything, as much as he can. And I think that's one of the reasons why this organization is not growing as it should. So I'm really happy for Langdon. If you all remember when Langdon was with the Nets, before Kyrie, before KD, before James Harden, he had that team in the playoffs. It was a lot of role players. There were no stars. And those guys balled. I don't know if you all remember that squad. Trajan Langdon had a huge hand in getting those guys, putting them together. And everything that they accomplished, they were not supposed to do. Nobody really gave them any leeway as far as, making it into the playoffs for one, and then going as far as they did. I know this one thing, they did not get swept. So,
yeah, they made it further than KD now.
Yeah. So, I mean, they had a really nice squad. And I believe that now that he has gone, he's not here with the Pelicans, he's going to go back to that. He's going to get Detroit together. I really feel that way because I've seen him do it before. I know I read on social media that a lot of people were glad that he was leaving, that the Pelicans did not change anything in the 5 years that Trajan was here. Well, there's a reason for that, people. There's a reason for that. And you can't just pin that on Trajan. The situation that you come into really does matter. The control that you have in order to do your job the right way really does matter. So, he's basically left that situation, and now he's in a situation where he's that dude who's calling all the shots. Obviously, with the exceptions of, the governor, so I'm happy for him. I think he's going to do some great things with Detroit. He's going to get them to where they need to be at.
Right, Lexxah. Absolutely. It got to a point where we coined David Griffin the octopus. We call him Doc Ock on the show because of his micromanaging style. Yeah. And obviously, despite the Pelicans giving Langdon an extension, it didn't prevent him or didn't deter him from wanting to be his own man. And as you can see on the screen right here, we're showing you the next general manager of the Pelicans. His name is Bryson Graham. He's the assistant general manager. And more than likely, according to various reports that are unofficial, they're just going to promote this guy here to be your new general manager of the Pelicans. So the gentleman here will be your new GM. DC, thoughts on Trajan Langdon, bro? What do you think about that?
First and foremost, I think you messed up the picture we should have had on there, man. You should have got with the production team, and Trajan Langdon should be dressed in a Spider-Man costume because he finally found a way to get away from Doc Ock, man. So congratulations to that brother. We made a lot of jokes about Trajan and, talking about his non-involvement vocally, where you don't hear from him, and a lot of the great things that the Pels have been able to do, a lot of the good things. He's had a huge hand in that over here. Similar like Lex was saying with Brooklyn. Trajan Langdon is excellent at finding talent. Yeah. He seems to have a knack for finding these wing type players. Like all of the wing guys we got, I know that came from this man. Like you looked at Brooklyn, and that's kind of how they were. Other than D'Angelo Russell and Spencer Dinwiddie, it was a bunch of those wings. Terrion Prince and all of those guys. They drafted a lot of them guys, man. And we got Herb. We got Trey. That's obviously a Trajan thing. Jordan Hawk feels like kind of Trajan pick, but we know Swin had a lot to do with that. But Najee, all of these guys, man, it just kind of fits that similar mold. And think he's excellent at finding talent and getting guys and building through the draft. So Detroit definitely has somebody I think that can help them, kind of get their program going, man. And the other thing I think about, I remember calling Q and talking to him about it. How does this look for what we're trying to do? How does Trajan Langdon value Brandon Ingram? Are the Pels pretty much locked on doing a trade with Detroit? Would that be considered tampering? If anybody knows Brandon Ingram, I think it would be Trajan Langdon as far as all of the people out there involved in trade talks. And Detroit was linked to us before he ever went there. So that is very interesting. And Big Q filled me in on a little history as he does. He talked about before and how Joe Dumas is supposed to leave from the Pistons and come in to actually be the VP. And now we got Trajan Langdon going over there to be to the VP from here. Ain't that crazy how things work out, man?
You mentioned Monty Williams, the coach of the Pelicans, is the coach of the Detroit Pistons now.
Monty Williams is the new Detroit Pistons. Basically, so it's are we gonna have a player go over there too? And that's just would be the trifecta, right?
Bro. You couldn't make this story up in the Hollywood movie, man. Dude, that's crazy. That's crazy. So, Lex, according to this, we were talking prior to the stream, and Lex, according to this development of Pistons doing their thing in terms of, and of course, don't forget the Stan Van Gundy connection. Well, Stan was the general manager up there, and he came down. He beat the Pelicans coach for a year, so that's another connection. But outside of that, a lot of these guys. Now, Langdon is going to go up there and he's going to flex his creative abilities, and he's going to. I don't think he fires Monty Williams. I know that the owner told him that whatever he wants to do, we'll do it. If he wants to fire Monty Williams, you'll give him the power to do that, and they'll just eat the contract. That was the reports that were coming out. But we've seen. I'm gonna lead into what you saying, DC. I was about to lead somewhere.
You can go on.
Okay, this is the thing. We've seen, even in the recent example, Lex, of some of these teams currently who are having great success with former Pelican executives. Connolly, who used to work for the Pelicans, Dale Demps. Dale earned a nickname, Dale the Simp Demps, is now up there in Minnesota, but nothing simpish about what the Minnesota Timberwolves are doing.
Nope.
So, that's kind of leading. I'm going to give you the runway on that, Lex, because I know you want to kind of build on that. Please feel free to build on the connections. How these guys seem to go elsewhere and thrive. Why is that the case? Because
something is wrong with this Pelicans organization. I mean, you can't hide it anymore. You got to tell the truth. And let me tell you something. The truth shall set you free, make you free, whatever the saying is. The truth is coming out. And the truth is definitely out with this organization. There was a reason why David Stern was making decisions for this organization. There's a reason why Chris Paul left. There's a reason why Anthony Davis did not want to be here. There's a reason why Finch, NAW, you know what I'm saying? Just name anybody who you want to. They're leaving. A lot of people who are leaving, maybe 1% have not been successful, but the percentage is higher of those who have been successful once they leave this organization. Drew Holiday. I mean, look at all these situations, and it's not just players. It's not just players. There's definitely something wrong. And until the Pelicans address the root of the problem, it's not going to be totally gone. It's not going to truly change the way that it needs to be. And that's the sad thing about all of this, is that what's the root of the problem? What is it? And you can't pin it on the players. You can't pin it on the coaches. I mean, obviously the decision as far as hiring the coaches that are here is a problem. But shoot, I'm scared that the Pelicans gonna lose Borrego.
That's the next shoe to drop, Lex.
Yeah.
Borrego's he's a guy in for both of these jobs. He's the Lakers job.
Cleveland.
Just like you said,
And the Cavs job is a really possible
connection. But just like DC said, with the connection with Detroit, Trajan's going down there. If Borrego leaves, you know what I'm saying? Again, the Pelicans are in cahoots with the Cavs on trying to get D. Mitch or Garland or Evan or Jared Allen.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, those are the options, and they've been looking at those guys for a minute. So it's like, no matter what this organization does, the root of the problem has to be addressed. It has to be addressed because it's killing this organization. In the long run, it's almost like, you have a lot of symptoms due to like one symptom. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a chain reaction. You have something going on in your body, and you're focused on the chain reaction going out throughout your body, but you're not focused on the root in which what's causing the chain reaction. You're trying to address all these other small nuances, and you're not addressing what can kill everything that's going wrong with your body if you just focused on that part. And until we focus on that part, it's hard to, it almost seems like the Pelicans are trying to cover up. They want to continue to be like, we're going to do it this way, but it's like, this is not working. You have to change, like you said, Big Q, the system. You have to change it. You have to change the mentality. You have to change the focus. That's the heart, mind over body. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have to change that key part that will trickle down into it, that'll have a ripple effect. And when that happens, like, the Pelicans organization will be in a beautiful place. But that part has to happen.
Right. Man. Yeah, it's kind of is at this point it's very hard to ignore. I think James Borrego was very instrumental to a lot of the success the Pelicans had last year. And we point to one game in particular because it was a very clear difference. Like, you watched the Pelicans prior to that 6th game where Willie Green missed that game. The Pelicans, we were asking the question. You can literally go back into the show's logs, and we were talking about, where's this fantastic offense that they promised us, the Borrego offense? We were asking that question because it wasn't there. Then when Willie had the C-19 and disappeared, and then Borrego took over the team against the Mavericks, the team looked different and differently offensively speaking. And everything after that, we was like, there it is. It was a very stern and vivid image of and then they kept a lot of that for the remaining of the season. So it was like, yeah, this is what we've been seeing with this Borrego. I was like, man, I wish we could have that full time. So, DC, leading into that, I want you to comment on what Lex was saying too, and add your take in it. Ultimately, if Borrego does leave, because that's the next talking point, the next story we're going to lead into, with James Borrego being looked at with the Lakers as well as the Cleveland Cavs, that they got rid of Bickerstaff. Obviously, they're going to have a team reformation. They looking like look like Spider Mitchell is going to be the guy to give the $208 million deal to. And what that means is Darius Garland and Jared Allen, those guys are going to be up out of there, and they're going to find another coach to work with Spider Mitchell. So let's talk about Borrego in your mind with the Pelicans, and what do you think happens moving forward?
Well, I mean, I think the coaching this year was a disaster. And if I could just put myself in the place of James Borrego, seeing Willie, make a lot of mistakes that I know he probably wouldn't make, right? And you have to be questioning, man. Wait a minute. Like, why the hell am I on this dude's staff? Like, I'm a better coach than him. you know, you got other coaches in the press conference talking about they were scared when you were out there coaching. Makes no mention of Willie Green. You got other players around the league laughing at us, coaching wise and some of the things we do. And we can't act like this man is just oblivious to all of that. After the season is over, we're running it back with Willie Green. We did secret extensions and all of this. And now they got coaching jobs coming up, and teams are calling inquiring about him. Wouldn't you leave? So this is just Trajan Langdon 2.0. So, James Borregos is most likely, if I was him, I probably would take the Cleveland job. I think it's not as much pressure as the Lakers job. At least they'll give you 2 or 3 years to figure it out over there. That Lakers job, man, that's like just like a damn conveyor belt. You get 1 year, you couldn't do nothing, out of here. It's always the coach fault, But I really would hate it to see him go to LA. But to see him go to Cleveland, I'd definitely be upset that we'd be losing Borregos. But it's like, I get it, man. I mean, it doesn't make sense to have him. My thought process when we got James Borregos was that we're gonna go into the season, right? You see what Willie does, how the team performs, and if he had an epic meltdown, you cut ties with Willie, and you have your new coach already that you can promote from within the staff. It cuts down on everybody learning something totally different. It cuts down on guys getting comfortable with him. I thought it was a strategic move to fix a potential mess up. But once he walks out, now you're looking at, okay, who can come in here and replace him and do possibly a better job than he was able to do, which I don't think is necessarily going to tie into whatever the offensive scheme is, which I like what James Borrego has had with the scheme. Is now going to tie into, like, can you have the ear of Willie and get him to listen to you? Or get Willie to be more impactful at holding players accountable and enforcing things, and get him to kind of bring a little more testosterone to things. You know what I'm saying? But it almost seems like it's a done data. And touching on what Lex said, man, it's almost like we're cursed sometimes. It's just so many things that go on with the Pels, man, that don't make any sense. I think we're the only team in the league that damn near almost lost their team. We had Oklahoma over there flaunting our team around, you know what I'm saying, and didn't want to give them back. Just so many weird things. We had a trade that the league actually canceled that would have been better for us, sending Chris Paul to the Lakers. But instead, we got Eric Gordon, who didn't want to be here, and Chris Canyon. And Alpha Romero, how you pronounce his name? Who wasn't worth the shit?
Camino.
Al Roof Camino, and he played his best ball when he got that. Al Farouka, get out of here, because he played his best ball once he got up out of here. You know what I'm saying? It's just so many things, man. We actually swing for the fences, pull off an amazing trade, an intelligent trade, get DeMarcus Cousins, and the man gets hurt in an injury where he can't even recover to be a semblance of himself after that. It's like, man, how much bad luck can you have? We have a team with an amazing name in the 70s, the New Orleans Jazz. It actually fits us. We lose that to Utah. Could have actually got the name back. It only cost $1 million, but Tom Benson said that was too much. It's just such weird history that follows the Pels, man. At some point, just by doing everything wrong, I think we're going to figure it out. Be able to do things right, because we've done everything probably the worst way you can do it, from running an organization, from being cheap to having superstar players, not putting the right stuff around them, then now we have, amazing level of talent, and we just cannot figure out putting the coaching staff around them. And maybe the right one or two extra player. We get all the hard stuff right and just completely get all Fs at all the other stuff that would be a layup for any other team. So it's frustrating, it's mind-boggling, but watching this team for the majority of my life, it could be a lot worse than it is right now. I know that ain't saying a lot.
Stop it.
But
Stop it, DC.
it could be a lot worse. Lex, I remember watching the Hornets, the New Orleans Hornets, before they were the Pelicans. And I kid you not, our starting lineup was Tim Frazier, what's your boy? Man, I can't from what we call him, Easy. What's the little short dude, man? That
Etwan Moore.
That average Etwan Moore, man. Etwan Moore, Dante Cunningham, niggas like Lexxah Jinka, and who was the power forward, man? This our starting lineup, Lex. And I sat there and watched this shit, and then I knew they were probably gonna lose, but I was hoping maybe they could win tonight. We were shocked the world, so it can definitely be a lot worse. I've seen it be a lot worse, but nonetheless, they say things got to get a little worse before they get better. I think the little worse was this season.
But this organization has already dealt with that. The fan base has already dealt with that.
Right.
At some point in time, embracing mediocrity.
No, I'm not embracing mediocrity.
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm not gonna put that on you, DC. I'm saying the organization. Even from the things that Willie said, they didn't do everything that they wanted to do, but you can still find success. Like, dog, it doesn't matter what you did in regular season. What matters most, and this is all across the board, this doesn't matter what team you're on. What you do in the playoffs, really holds more weight than what you did in regular season. Everybody needs to know that. What you do in the playoffs is your credentials, your notoriety, how you build your legacy. Okay? Y'all hear them big words? Like, look, getting to the playoffs, that's mediocre. Let's start doing something. Do something in the playoffs. Win some games. Get to the second round. At least. I mean, obviously, you want more than that, but look, in Willie's 3 years of being here, that regular season record means absolutely nothing. Say it again. Yeah. Okay. It means nothing. Because you know what? You know what the reality of the situation is? They've been a borderline playing team. They've been a first round exit. They were a borderline playing team twice within his 3 seasons. His first season was his best season, just like the OKC series. The first game was the best game. Since then, what's happened? Big Q and DC. It's declined. It's declined. Willie Green's best season was his first season with the Pelicans. That's been his best season. Since then, dude, you've been ousted you made the play-in, but you got kicked out because, the play-in is not the playoffs. Made the play-in this year, got to the playoffs, which everybody was talking about, we're just trying to get to the playoffs. That literally was what the team was trying to do. Just get to the playoffs, and that's it. They weren't trying to win. They weren't trying to win. They just wanted to get to it. Dog, I don't have time for that. I mean, most times when somebody says, we're trying to get in the playoffs, what do you what's y'all's interpretation of that? When somebody says we're trying to get to the playoffs, what's your interpretation?
I'm trying to be the first loser.
Look, my interpretation now you made me. You know how they say you got to be specific with your prayers. When you talking to God, you got to be specific. Okay, I want to get to the playoffs and win some games in the playoffs. Okay. And get to the second round. We got to start doing that now, because getting to the playoffs, that's exactly what they did, and that's all they did. We can't assume that our interpretation of what we want from the team is going to be there. Like, now, y'all need to be more specific. Y'all got to the playoffs last season. So when you say get to the playoffs, you need to be more specific on what you're talking about, so me and you can be on the same page. Because apparently last season, okay, we weren't on the same page. We weren't. We were not. But yeah, we can't embrace this mediocrity, man. At some point in time, when do you ascend? When do you be like, man, we trying to get it. We trying to get somewhere. We want to accomplish something. When is that going to be the mind frame?
I think probably this year.
I don't think so, Big Q.
I don't know. As long as
how are we gonna ascend when we're losing our general manager before the draft? For one,
he wasn't.
Also, we're probably losing I guess our highest ranked assistant. You know, he's going to be moving on. We actually are. I mean, we're in the process of kind of regathering ourselves, man, and in figuring out how we want to retool and go about things. Like they know they want to build around Zion. So okay, we finally figured out him and Brandon Ingram ain't gonna work. You got to trade Brandon. It's a lot of things to say they want to compete next year. I think next year is definitely going to be pressure, because if Willie doesn't perform next year, I don't see how you see how you bring him back.
That's not going to be the case, though. That's not the case. The case is, and y'all know David Griffin, just like
it depends on who we get in the trade. Though.
No, listen.
That way you going?
We knew this is nothing new. We know Trajan Langdon was going to leave. He'd been trying to leave. This is not a surprise. And like Lex just admitted, a couple of years ago, the KLJ drafting was obviously not Langdon. Mm-mm. So I mean, you look at with it, and it was very clear. Trajan Langdon wasn't
even in the league anymore.
I don't know.
I mean, that's how. Think about that.
I think he with the Jazz, isn't he? He was.
That's the last place we thought. But if I'm not mistaken, I didn't see him out there.
I remember he was with Toronto. I don't know.
Then he got traded to Toronto, and then from Toronto he went to Utah. But think about that. Is he even in the league? We know he ain't in rotation.
Nah, he's a perennial backup in terms of what he's doing until somebody give him an opportunity. But I think it was a bad move.
Yeah, because that's basically what he was here.
Yeah, he with the Jazz according to this. But I mean, all I can say is like, thank you, All World Trucker, man, for your super chat. Says, boy, Naz Reid can't miss from 3. Yeah, Naz Reid, man, killing it for the Timberwolves, man. He doing an excellent job, 6-man.
Well, it would have been amazing if we would have drafted him that year, huh, Q?
I was putting it on. Naz Reid, because he came from LSU. I was watching Naz Reid play for the Tigers.
When is the last time the Pelicans drafted or even signed a two-way guy, anything from LSU? Man?
Never. Maybe
what about the Hornets?
Marcus Thornton is the last LSU player I remember him drafting.
Marcus Thornton.
You all are so funny.
And that was good. That was a success.
What about
Collison and Marcus
Toronto?
Huh?
Come on, what's his name? Y'all know he went to LSU. He was the vet on the team. got traded. Come on now. What's his name?
Oh, he don't count. That was the tailor for the team. Like he had him in suits and stuff. That was the
come on, y'all remember?
Yeah, he was a suit maker. That wasn't an actual player that we got.
Yeah, Garrett.
We didn't draft him though. We got him in the trade. She talking about Garrett Temple. Forgot about him.
Yeah. Thank y'all, World Trucker, for your super chat, man. But the way I see it is like the Pelicans this year, like obviously Borrego, we just showed some articles on the screen with the Lakers and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I agree with DC. I think Cavaliers would probably be a better place for James Borrego to build that team. Well, I mean, this team they'll be good out the gate, not far less pressure. But I think, like, in terms of what the Pelicans are going to do, David Griffin's going to swing for the fences. I mean, he has an even quieter guy that'll take over the general manager position, and this Bryce.
So wait, I don't understand this, Q. How do you become quieter than the guy who don't speak?
He did.
I keep asking this, Q. How does it get quieter than the mind?
Because the thing is, like I said, y'all got to see what we be saying about y'all think, and I make a lot of jokes about some of these people. I really do. I be joking my ass off about them, but that's to stop from crying most of the time. The reality is, like with the Pelicans, man. The Pelicans. I just did a show earlier today with the New Orleans Saints, and this ran by the same. It's the same leadership group, if you won't call it that. And the people at the top of the team don't know about the sports that they are attached to. Gail doesn't know enough about football or basketball to be a real force in a discussion with the team. The top executive is a guy that has the title as a basketball and football president of operations, VP. He's the president, but this guy really, and that's why I was saying that if they're serious about being a functional organization, they need to change the architecture of how the team is made, the structure of the business side of the team. Dennis Lucia needs to be changed into a he needs to be changed into a chief executive officer or a chief financial officer, and there needs to be another basketball mind. Maybe two, because I go two. Right. Yeah, you got to have two, because you got to have a president that knows about basketball and a vice president and another vice president. You need a combine of guys at the top that know about basketball on the Pelican side and football on the Saints side. It's the same thing that's screwing the team up, because you're over relying on one person to make the correct decision, not kicking away Swin Cash. I really think Swin should actually be the vice president of basketball operation, because she's impeccable. Me and DC was talking about this the other day, Lex. When we did the research on Swin, she's a perennial winner. Everywhere she went, she won. She's a champion.
Yeah.
She won everywhere. She got Olympic medals. She won championships in college. She won championships in the NBA. She's a perennial winner. She accomplished championships at every level of her career. She is who we want to be leading this team. David Griffin is a flim-flam man. He got one championship with Cleveland, and that's because LeBron James was telling him who to pick up. We know this. I know this, and like we catalog so much on the show about the decisions that David Griffin had made since he'd been here. Hiring Stan Van Gundy, that was dumb. No smart general manager would have pulled a man who hadn't coached in years out of retirement to coach for the team. Unless it's Phil Jackson, I would take a shot on that, but not no Stan Van Gundy. He ain't do shit. And then you didn't fire Gentry in your first. That is not something a smart VP would do. And then he collects these people. No disrespect to Trajan Langdon, he got smart enough to leave up out of here. This other Bryce kid probably is going to be quieter than him. You can't be a quiet general manager with a vocal VP like David Griffin, because he likes to talk. He likes to be seen. Look at me. I'm the VP. I'm a VP of an NBA basketball team. Those guys, you shouldn't even know who they are. You know who they are, but you don't see them. You shouldn't even see that guy unless he's standing up next to the general manager when he's holding the press conference and the media wants to ask him a question. but he wants the job. Look at me, I want to be seen. I'm David Griffin. I picked that guy and that guy. No, man. Whoever the general manager is going to be, it got to be a vocal dude that speaks up, or he's not going to get credit for none of the moves that the team make at all, but he'll get all of the blame. And eventually, if the team fails, he'll be the guy that gets fired. It won't be Griffin. Griffin will lean on, well, you the general manager, I could fire your ass and just stick another quiet guy. So, I mean, in the end, man, it has to be. That's what I'm saying, because you're going to more than likely lose Borrego. You already left. We lost Trajan. BI's on the trade block. People was asking me, Q, why are we talking so much about BI? Why not CJ? Well, nobody wants CJ right now. Nobody wants CJ McCollum right now. He's not a hot button issue, even though he had a phenomenal year in shooting the three.
When he was at Portland.
Right. But nobody wants, it's no people beating the Pelicans door down for a trade for CJ McCollum, making $30+ million a season as old as, despite the fact that he shot the lights out with the ball. There's nobody beating the door down for him.
I mean, but he's still an expiring Q. Maybe not.
I hear you, DC, but hold on.
Next year.
I'm going somewhere. I'm gonna give y'all the floor, but I just wanted to say this, and I'm gonna turn it over to y'all. This is the thing. That's why I'm expecting this to happen. I'm expecting them to make a move, and the move is going to be a flashy move because it's David Griffin. He's going to make a flashy move.
Is he?
Yes. That's one thing you can't say about the octopus, that he's going to make a splashy move. Now, what that splashy move is, one or two things.
I hope it's the right one.
It'll be
the trade. One thing, Q.
It'll be the trade.
You move.
Say again.
Yeah, so you're forgetting one thing, man. It don't matter who it is. They're gonna implement what's your word you created? Just like Mickey Loomis, the excuse matrix is coming. Oh, whoever we get, it was their first year. They had to get acclimated. That's the shit we go ahead next offseason.
Well, the excuse
it'd be very hard to contend for a championship this year. It's too much turnover.
No, I don't see that won't work either because even though you're not going bare bone. Now you're losing BI, but you're losing BI to a trade that should improve the team. If you play it right, you can get two positions for the cost of one. You really could. And even if you trade a reserve, whether it be Larry Nance or Dyson Daniels, you should be able to accomplish with a trade of BI to a Cleveland or an Atlanta. You should be able to accomplish two starters for the price of one, point guard and center. So in both of these teams have players that the Pelicans want. David Griffin is going to swing for the fences. That's one thing that he is. I can't take that away from him. He's a micromanager and he's wants too much credit, but he's a guy that will swing for the fences. So look for him to try to do the Trae Young thing. And if the Trae Young thing falls apart, look at him looking at Cleveland with Jared Allen. They're going to go back to the teams they like, perhaps with Darius Garland. And if that don't work out, DC, start looking at DC's narrative about Detroit. Well, what they can get, they ain't gonna give up Cade Cunningham, but DC likes Jalen Durant, the Jalens. He likes the Jadens. He likes Ivy, and he likes Durant. So I mean, but anyway, I'm gonna turn it over to y'all. Lex, what do you think about some of this?
That's probably the least of. That's my last trade package, man. That I want.
Like
that's probably what we gonna wind up with, though.
The organization is in a very peculiar situation. Because the thing is that, like we said earlier, started the rebuild along with the Thunder and the T-Wolves around basically the same time. You can even throw Memphis up in there. The thing is that you look at where we are and where the other teams are. And look, I know Memphis did not do well this year. Y'all, let me tell you something. Memphis is coming. They about to boot somebody out. All right, y'all see my face? They about to boot somebody out. You know what I'm saying? For real. Like, they do have a nice squad. And they found some gems, okay? They found some gems from the G League. Gigi, he's like, what, 6'8"? Man, that dude does everything with that basketball.
How about our center? What's his name that we used to? What's his name? What's his name? DC. I
the
forgot
deep
his
trip.
Jamison.
Jamison. Yeah.
Jamison.
Trey Jamison. Yeah.
Trey
Yeah, he's still over there too.
They gave him an opportunity. Yeah, they're gonna keep him. His energy.
So do
and
they
hustle,
still have like that Xavier? What is Xavier Tillman? They still
no,
got
he
him
got
too.
traded to the
He
Boston
gone.
Celtics.
He gone. Yeah.
I wonder why, huh? Trey Jamison.
Yeah. But look, they found in when they were in despair, okay, they found gems during that time. They were like, okay, this is a tryout. Who wants to join the team? Who wants to join the team? And they got that. They found two guys that are very promising. And let me tell you something, they are two dangerous guys. When you put those guys next to Ja, Triple J, what's the sniper's name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. In the backcourt with
Well,
Ja.
Bane.
Bane, yeah, him.
Desmond Bane.
Yeah. And you still got Smart. You still got D Rose. He hasn't retired. He can still give you some quality minutes, just not a whole lot at the same time. I mean, and then you still got a solid bench. Those dudes are coming, man. I mean, you look at this situation with the Pelicans, and it's like y'all need to, if you're gonna do something, because guess what? We're not really Griff is not totally locked into rebuilding. This is more so retooling. It's retooling, like changing the core. That's a big deal. Now, let me get into that a little bit more. What does that really mean to change the core? To retool? What does all that stuff mean? What it means is, dog, we do not want players. We do not want you to trade players that are good in regular season. Okay? I'm going to say it again. We do not want to trade for players that are good in regular season. We need players that perform at a high level, that have proven to perform at a high level in the playoffs. If you go for the highest caliber of level of play, well, guess what you're going to get in regular season? Y'all see where I'm getting at? We don't just want anybody, okay? Now, look, I know trading for some of these guys, it sounds good. It's like, well, look, if we don't get this guy, hey, getting somebody is good. Is it? Is it?
I don't know. Lex.
Going after Garland. Look, Garland is incredible during regular season.
He's an upgrade, Lex.
I know, but I'm telling you, I'm again going for. Look, I anybody saw Trae Young, what he did with the Knicks? Dude went to the Western Conference Finals. Okay, now a lot of people say that was a fluke because they got past Sixers, they got past the Knicks, they went up against Boston, and let me tell you something, they weren't no pushovers. They fought. Even though they didn't have the weapons that all those other teams had, everybody was looking at them like they shouldn't have gotten to where they were, but they did. You see what I'm talking about? That's what this team needs. If you're retooling, if you're just trying to put somebody with Zion, we want him to grow with Zion. No. Are we retooling or are we rebuilding? What are you trying to do? And that's why I keep asking that question. I know that going after Garland is an upgrade.
They're retooling. Now,
Okay,
is it retooling though? If you're adding, because my thought process is they're looking for a point guard and a center. Yeah. They've been looking for a center all last year. Now there's two teams. Like I said, there's two teams that they're serious about in discussions because they're players that they believe fits what they're doing. So this is a little different than last year. The Pelicans have a group of players that they want. Jared Allen is a player that I really do think that they want. If they can package something where they can get Darius Garland, because it works out because Cleveland is not going to keep Darius Garland and Spider Mitchell. Those guys can't coincide. So when Spider Mitchell said he's staying. So if that's the case,
when did Donovan Mitchell say he's staying, Q? Because I
listen,
I heard he was still on the fence.
No, this is what I heard.
Hasn't decided officially.
What I heard is that he likes Cleveland. Listen, you're right. He likes Cleveland a lot, and a lot of people, let's just say it like this, the insiders think that he stays. Yeah. Because and what Cleveland is doing with the firing of JB Bickerstaff is an attempt to lure him in because they want him to be the leader of the team and have some insight a little higher than they want to build the team around Spider Mitchell. But the players like Darius Garland and Jared Allen, if you listen to the Cleveland press, Jared Allen is getting a lot of flack because he didn't play when he was hurt. A lot of people didn't like that. And of course, Spider Mitchell and Darius Garland can't coincide there. So if they decide him, the other guy got to go. That works for the Pelicans if they're serious about trade. Because like I said, they're trying to get 2 for 1.
Can we look at some trades that have happened in the past? We may have to think about that because I would love to have Darius Garland and Jared Allen, but for Dice, Larry Nance, Ingram, and some picks, I don't know if that can happen. What does a guy like Jared Allen command to be removed from Cleveland? Because Cleveland has been dangling Jared Allen on the trading block for like the last 2 years, man.
Yeah, you know why.
What exactly are they looking for? Are they expecting to get in a return from it? He's their most consistent player. He doesn't get injured. He plays a lot. Now he had this thing where I guess whatever happened in the playoffs, you know what I'm saying? Darius Garland and Brandon Ingram's contracts match up. The trade thing, I know you like trade, Lex, but I'm not even really sure if Atlanta is really trading him or not. Like, all of that's still vague.
I mean,
could they be looking to move DeJounte Murray in the number 1 pick to get a superstar?
What I'm doing, in terms of what I'm looking at with the team, what I'm hearing, I've been researching it behind Atlanta and Cleveland because it seems like the most likely places where if the Pelicans are serious about contending and getting the team to the next level, Darius Garland and Jared Allen makes sense, and Trae Young or maybe not Clint Capella, maybe the backup center. I can't pronounce his name. Agankwo. Those guys. Now the Pelicans have interest in both those guys, but from what I'm hearing from Atlanta side, they're not going to trade both of them. It's going to either be one or the other. Either it's going to be Trae gets traded or it'll be DeJounte Murray that gets traded. That's what I'm hearing.
Right. But if like, which direction are they really going in? Because the thing with Atlanta, I wouldn't mind getting Trae Young, but it's obviously going to take pretty much a similar package just to get Trae Young to make the money match. I don't think we get coming back with Clint Capella and Conwu and all of that. I think whatever trade we pull off Trae Young is just to get Trae Young. You're going to have to pay, I guess, pretty much what you're thinking you would pay to get Darius Garland and Jared Allen. Because Trae Young, I don't know, man. I guess you got the bidding wars with the other teams. You got these 2 guys. I'm sure other teams want them. I hear some teams say they're higher on Darius Garland, which I think is kind of crazy when you think about it if you're a team that's ready to win now, because Trae Young is like, he'd have been on all NBA teams. This dude dropped, 50 points in a conference champ with wasn't he in Eastern Conference Finals?
Yeah.
Had like a 50-point game. You know, so that's it's a little crazy. Either one of them, I don't think you can go wrong, Lex. But I understand, obviously, getting Trae would be a bigger upgrade now. But I think with Darius Garland, it would be a better move for the future, and you would actually have a stable core that's set up for the next probably 5 years or so. I think you probably could maintain Trey, Herb, Darius Garland, and Zion, and whatever center you run across as far as a younger guy. But with Trey, I guess you could say a similar thing too. But I think he's I don't know, man. It's kind of a gamble with him, in my opinion. I'm not sure how that pairing with Zion works. I hear Trey's father say he's cool with being the second best player. He's just never in the NBA had a team where he was the second best player. If that's true, then yeah, he'll bring him over. But it does Trey is kind of like uh he seems like that guy, man. He's got that ego, like he wants to be that guy. Could we run into a similar situation that we had with Brandon Ingram? Will Trey Young actually take more efficient shots when he plays on a team with better players? Because we know he can hit them 50-footers and stuff, but he not Steph. Come on. We don't need you taking
Hey, you know
3-4 of them a game.
One thing I will say is that the gravity that Zion has, okay, look, he commands a lot of attention. And not only that, Trey Young, he has some gravity that will help Zion. Because I don't care how bad of a shooter or percentage-wise you think Trey Young is, Trey Young ain't shot hitting that three. He's not shy. He's not gonna, let me take 2 dribbles inside and you know what I'm saying? He's not gonna do that. Wasn't that one thing that Brandon was doing that was hurting the team? Because he refused to take the
Do you want to go from one extreme to the other though? You got a guy who took 2 steps to inside, but a dude who take 4 steps back.
Okay, but Trey Young has been to the Eastern Conference.
That still is a better problem, though.
Trey Young has, he's done more in the playoffs than Brandon, right?
DC,
I'll take that trade off. Yeah, if it means, look, there's gonna be pros and cons to every situation.
Right.
But we need somebody who's confident in taking that 3-point shot. We need somebody who has some type of gravity so that, Zion can be on the end where of the playmaking. I don't know if you notice, a lot of times when Zion has the ball, and we've seen this, that's why Point Zion is so effective. When he has the ball, his gravity is so great. He's opening up doors for his teammates. It's open shots. But guess what? Nobody has the gravity. None of his teammates have the gravity that Zion needs to get easy shots. He can't get easy shots, and he's the most efficient player on the team. Come on now. He needs that. That's going to help his game. You have to have that other player. I mean, that's why you have multiple stars on a team. But Zion has been the way that he's able to create for everybody, those corner threes are gonna be there. I mean, when Zion has the pass off, I don't know all the numbers, but golly, do you know from behind the arc, Trey, Murphy, Herb, and CJ, they had more 3-point attempts and makes than Brandon did. All 3 of them did. The thing is, they were using his gravity and it was working. You know what I'm saying? And let me tell you something. Any point guard, oh my gosh, it's like the Red Sea just opened up. I mean, all this space for me to shoot this 3-point shot.
Straight up.
That dude is going to be, oh snap. Oh goodness. Oh my gosh. The Mavs just beat. I'm sorry. I was looking at the game. That's crazy. But anyway, that who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want all that space? And then not only that, you got Trigger Tray, you got Ice Tray. I don't know about you, but branding purposes, hey, that's a beautiful thing right there. I mean, Ice Tray and Trigger Tray, you know what I'm saying? That don't have a nice swing to it. Come on,
man. See, because that's what I'm saying. It's like, man,
like, come
that's
on.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I was saying about David Griffin swinging for the fences, because that's what it'll take to electrify the Pelican base. Like, you want to get to the next level. And Trae Young is not just a sharpshooter. He's also a guy that distributes the ball. So you could use him in his assist game. And like you said, this guy is not some irky jerky shooter. This guy's one of the best shooters in the NBA, not named Steph Curry. This guy really does his thing beyond the 3-point line. And then you have him playing with Zion, all the space he provides. Plus, you mentioned Trey Murphy along with Trae Young, the two Trays out there, Herb Jones, who turned into a 3D shooter for you. It's just shooting all over the place.
Somebody who knows how to throw down in the post, throw lobs, get easy shots.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't been having that. Have y'all noticed that? Everybody else knows how to throw lobs.
Yeah, you know what
I'm saying? Like, we don't see that. We never see that stuff, man. Just easy shots. Like, this game has to stop being hard.
We have a point guard. I mean, we operate by point by point committee. It's like a point committee. Here, you handle the ball here. You handle the ball.
Wait, what? We have a collection of people that make up one point guard. Is that what you said?
Right. It's a point guard concept, which is chaotic, and you can see it during out the game.
It worked during the regular season until you get to the fourth quarter.
Exactly, it looks good.
And it looks like trash during the playoffs.
Right. It looks good at times, but it's a ability to kind of go over the fact that they're lacking a point guard, and they've been lacking a starting point guard for a while. So if you can, my thing is, and I got a poll up into the chat for the family members. If y'all want to check that, okay. I want y'all to answer that poll in the chat. Everybody in the show, I want y'all to answer that poll in the chat. Let me know who you prefer, and this will show the family members here know what time it is. It's a star-driven league. If you can get a Trae Young, and put him with a Zion Williamson, that's must-see basketball. You got Trey Murphy, you got Herb Jones, Herb's not just a defender. You know, like Trey Murphy's not just a sharpshooter. Trey is not just a shooter anymore. He's a guy that can put the ball on the floor and try to cram it on your head. He can finish at the rim with aggression. Right. Herb Jones is another dude that plays defense. He's hitting his 3-point shot like 41.8% from downtown. So this team is made. This will be the ultimate collection of players that you want to put around a guy with the massive gravity as a Zion Williamson. Go ahead, Lex.
Hey,
thank y'all, World Trucker, for the super chat too, bro. Thank you.
I don't know about y'all, but I ain't trying to look at no 0-26 or 0-27 in the clutch no more. How about that? Yes. How about that in close games? How about that? When the pressure is on, okay, let me tell you something. Trae Young, he don't get rattled. He keeps his composure and he performs when the pressure. Hey, did y'all see the series against the Knicks? And he bowed to him. He did his bow. Come on now. In the Knicks house, Madison Square Garden is basketball arena, right?
He was real comfortable there. Let me tell you something. He took his bow.
And you telling me the Pelicans can't use that? That is confidence that this team needs, man. To go up in Madison Square Garden, and I'm talking about they fan base is on a whole nother level. It ain't like the Pelicans crowd, okay? Nothing against Pelicans fan. Hey, man. He was in their house, bowing to him.
You had to respect him.
Wave him. Hey, let me tell you, 0-26, 0-27.
That's a thing of the past, man.
Trae Young in Madison Square Garden. And you know what? Look, they didn't even play Atlanta. Okay? and they started chanting, I think, against the Sixers, they started chanting F Trae Young.
Yep.
Okay, did y'all hear that? Did y'all watch the game? Did y'all watch that series? They actually chanted that Trae Young ain't even in the Eastern. He's not even in the playoffs in the East.
He was killing them.
And they were doing that because he left something in their brain, people. He left something that still stung them. That was y'all don't know what I'm talking about, do you? Pelicans 0-26, 0-27, whichever one. Both of them are bad. But I promise you, it won't be like that if we get that dude. Remember what he did to the Knicks in the playoffs. I'm just saying, man. You want to be on 28, 29, 30? Take your pick. None of them are good.
We already 0-30, Lex.
No one none of that.
Look, I'm just saying, man. You have a guy that he performs like a star. He doesn't get rattled. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously everybody makes mistakes, but golly, man. I mean, we've seen Trae Young on a nice stage, on a big stage. Bright lights. Remember, Brandon or CJ, they didn't perform when the lights were brightest, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do we?
You ready for Willie to bench him for bad defense?
What'd you say?
You ready for Willie to bench him for bad defense?
DC, cut that out. That won't happen, man. They're gonna bench him $40 million player. They won't bench $40 million player.
Because there's bad defense. Like
he benched CJ. CJ got benched.
Bro, he ain't benching them, bro. $40 million a season. That ain't gonna happen.
Like CJ making 33.
I like Trae. I like Darius Garland. I like both of them. I'll be happy to get either one of them. But just to change topics, because I don't think it's any debate. At least not here. And
well, I still
where's the poll, Q?
Look at the poll. The poll is saying, man, y'all vote in the poll. Put it in the poll, family. All the family members listening, go to the poll.
I can't see it. Where is it?
You got to click on the black, the black part, and it'll come down. DC.
Pardon DC bad with technology, man.
Man, I ain't bad with no goddamn technology.
He bad with technology. His cell phone service is Horizon. So, but the poll says, who would you prefer for the Pelicans to trade for? There's four. I would have put more if they allow you, but they only allow you 4 options. I got Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, Darius Garland, and DC Drew and Jaden Ivey. He mentioned Jaden Ivey.
Jaden Ivey should not be on that poll, man. He ain't in the stratosphere of those guys you just mentioned.
Well, DC,
that's not fair to them or the Jaden Ivey.
Well, DC, I was going to throw Didi Louzada in there, but I was trying to do you a favor.
You should have said Jared Allen or something, because a lot of people are predicting us to trade Brandon Ingram straight up for Jared Allen and Karis LeVert. I was like, well, why the hell would the Pelicans do that?
That would be dumb as hell.
But some people they view Brandon Ingram as a negative asset, and my thing with that is, man, I know we've come to the conclusion that we probably need to trade him. I'm one of the few people that I think it could actually work with Brandon Ingram if we had a strong coaching staff. But we don't have that, so it ain't gonna work.
You know what?
But hold on, I'm not advocating for Brandon Ingram to stay. Hold on, let's.
DC,
but
Trae Young could run Willie Green out of here.
He can. But all I was saying is this though: Brandon Ingram is the best.
Y'all remember
wing,
don't you?
Huh?
Proud Family, the uncle.
I heard it, so I never watched it, so that was like a little bit after my cartoon time. But Brandon Ingram is the best available wing in the league right now, like that people can get. Some people might say Paul George, but I'm like, man, at that price and at his age, I don't really think that's his value. Or let's say Paul George is better in other people's eyes, right? Brandon Ingram is still the number 2 best wing that you could get. 6'8" guy, man. That people be clamoring to get somebody like that. You can't just easily get a player like that. That's probably one of the hardest players to get now. Is a big, tall wing that can score and defend. Like he ain't Herb Jones, but Brandon Ingram does play defense. So I think we can command maybe possibly a Trae Young, but it'll be like a lot of picks we'd have to give him. I think it'd probably be like 3 first-round picks, man. That we probably wind up having to give up to get Trae. And with the addition of like Dice and Larry, or maybe you can not give up Dice and just give them Larry or something. If you're not getting another player packaged in that to come back from Atlanta as well. But I don't think even the polls, man, if everybody's not in on Trae Young, you got to be in on somebody like Darius Garland. But we need a perimeter scorer, like you said, Lex, that can create some type of scoring gravity for Zion. Trae Young is the best out there at that, but I'm just leery on whether Atlanta would really want to move him. As a Pel supporter, obviously we would want him, but thinking realistically, if you're Atlanta, why in the hell would you trade Trae Young? Why would they do that?
Resetting the team.
I mean, Pelicans got plenty of problems already. I mean, shit.
Hey, that brings another question. Are you sure Trae Young will want to come here?
I mean,
play with Zion, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, really think about it. That's the only
anybody want to play with Zion, but then you look at our organization that we just spent the first half of the podcast talking about. Do we want to sign off for that?
You're moving the goalposts now. You asked us a question.
I'm asking questions, man.
Yeah.
Moving the goalposts.
That's the selling point.
I'm not moving no goalposts. I'm asking questions.
That's the selling point. Because the thing is, ain't nobody coming here because of Willie. Because of his great coaching.
It's Zion Williamson.
Speaking of that, has anybody ever called Willie a great coach?
No.
I always hear these dudes talk about how much they love playing here, and this was the best locker room that they've ever been a part of. But I ain't never heard nobody say it.
I think I heard Lexxah say it one time.
That was
Lexxah said it one time?
Who didn't know the team, man.
I want to say I heard Lexxah say it one time that I think I heard her say it just one time.
You did, Lex. She said it one night. He's like, Willie is a great coach. I think I do remember you saying that. It probably was off of a real good victory, though. You might have been high off of the victory.
Blasphemy. Look, I recognize him for the things he did. That's blasphemy. I never done said that. And I'm willing to put money, because I remember stuff. Y'all know I got it. I retain and muscle memory, okay? But no, he was never a great coach.
He might have been a little forced on you. I probably was like, Lex, you need to lay off of Willie, and then you said it.
His first year, that was his first year. We were giving him a chance, right? I think, you always give people a chance, and I give people a chance. But the thing is, it's like, dang, dude, you still in the first year and lower. Okay.
Well, according to the organization, he got more wins, Lex.
No, DC. I talked about that. Listen. I need you to get this. Willie Green's coaching stint with the Pelicans is a mirror image of how the Pelicans played against OKC in that first series. His first year was his best year. Okay? He made it into the playoffs, right? Won 2 games, didn't get swept. Okay? Since then, yes, in regular season, He's improved every year. But the team is still a borderline play-in team. Play-in team. You're talking about 9, 10, 7, 8. Okay, but more so basically 9, 10. Getting into that A spot. That's all that's all he's been. And if you look at it that way, look, nobody looks at regular season like that. Yeah, you win awards and stuff like that, but again, where you get your credentials, your notoriety, how you build your legacy, how people remember your name, you get that from the playoffs.
That's right. That's facts.
That's why nobody thinks nothing about the Pelicans. The Pelicans haven't done nothing. Does anybody, if you ask anybody outside of New Orleans or who's not a Pelicans fan, hey, when's the last time the Pelicans who? Huh? Okay. You want to talk about another team? I'm not trying to be mean.
No, you're right.
It's just being real. Like, the Pelicans haven't done anything. That's why the in-season tournament, that's why that in-season tournament was so important. Because this team doesn't really have real success. I'm not saying like, yeah, they're small successes, but when you're talking about real success, the real success comes from the playoffs. What are you doing in the playoffs? They don't have that. They don't have it. And you just got to keep that stuff in perspective, man. I mean, this organization, this team has a whole lot to prove, man. That's why I keep saying, that's one of the things, the edge, that's why that came to me. Because it's like, what do you got to do? You got to have the edge. Being competitive is nothing without the edge. You have to have something it's that part. You have to have that something that catapults you ahead of everybody else. And they haven't found that yet.
Yeah, you're right, Lex. That's a big part of what they have to find, that killer instinct. And like I said, the biggest trade that the Pelicans can pull off in terms of getting leadership, because the point guard position, we talked about it, like what Minnesota did against Denver, Connolly meant something. You can't run from the leader of the team. You can't run in terms of distributing the ball, setting the table. And you put a sharpshooter like Trae Young, who also can pass the ball, and we have shooters around Zion, that changes everything. So, like I said, I think that's what the Pelicans ultimately are trying to do. They have other teams that's interested in Trae Young, but if you're ranking these things, that's got to be high on the totem pole if you're trying to put Zion and Trae Young together while giving up B.I., perhaps a Larry Nance or something like that, but keeping your hands off of guys like Jordan Hawkins. Those guys have to remain. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting, man. Let me touch on these Pelicans notes right here, just to go over that, man, with the Pelicans, man. And also for the family members that won't chime in, we're not going to open up the segment of the show to the fam. So if you've been waiting all week to get your Pelican points in, now is the time. Now is the time. So the link is pinned to the chat, and we want to hear from you tonight. So do us a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Family members listening to us on Instagram, Twitter, give us a retweet if you're on Twitter. Shout out to my Twitter family, my Facebook family. We're on several platforms. Instagram, shout out to Busset Babe 22. Shout out, I know who that is. Shout out to you. Appreciate you listening. All right. And listen, fam, let's hit these notes right quick. Pelicans notes: Murphy, Alvarado, Valanciunas, draft, and arena. So we're going to touch on this one. This is from hoopsrumor.com. That's the source. Rookie scale extension for Trey Murphy will be one of the Pelicans' off-season priorities, but it will take a significant offer to make it happen. This is according to Christian Clark of NOLA.com. Clark sees a new contract for Murphy falling somewhere between 4 years at $94.5 million. Now that's the deal Brooklyn gave Cam Johnson last summer, and and the 5-year pact Devin Vassell signed with the Spurs was $135 million in guaranteed money. That's a lot of money they gave Devin Vassell. Murphy came off the bench in 34 of 57 games he played this season, but Clark points to April matchup with Golden State as evidence that he can handle a full-time starting role. And that was an awesome game against Golden State. Boy, and like I said before, they've seen Curry, Thompson shoot threes in that building all the time. But when Trey Murphy was in there lunching them three-pointers from 5 feet beyond the three-point line, dude, they were like, oh, I said, these are just watching Clay and Steph all the time. And they were just oohing, hawing, and then watching Trey Murphy kill it. So I enjoyed the hell out of one of my favorite games of last season, watching him shoot the Golden State Warriors into a loss. With B.I. sidelined by injury, Murphy scored 24 points and sank 6 3-pointers, 3 of which were from 30 feet or longer. He was feeling it, that one. The Pelicans reportedly plans to explore trades involving Ingram this summer, creating an opportunity for Murphy to replace him in the starting lineup. Clark views Murphy as a better fit alongside of Zion and Herb Jones, adding that all 3 will be under contract long-term if Murphy signs an extension. More from the Pelicans. Pelicans are very likely to pick up their almost $2 million offer for Jose Alvarado. This is according to Keith Smith of Sport Track. States in an off-season overview of the team. Options decisions on Jeremiah Robinson Earl at $2.2 million, Matt Ryan at $2.4 million are less certain. But Smith expects the Pelicans to keep both players unless the front office decides it needs to open a roster spot. The more difficult choices, according to Smith, are what to do with center Jonas Valanciunas and small forward Najee Marshall, who will be unrestricted free agents if they don't agree to contracts or extensions by late June. Smith expects a 1 or 2 year deal for Valanciunas if he's brought back, while Marshall seems likely to wind up elsewhere. The Pelicans need to find a big man in the draft, and there should be plenty of decent options when they pick at number 21. Smith adds listing Zach Edey, Yves Missy, Deron Holmes II, and Khalil Ware as players who could still be on the board. Smith expects New Orleans to defer the first-round pick that it owes for the Lakers, which is supposed to be June the 1st, if I'm not mistaken, which is number 17, and take LA's first rounder next year instead. Louisiana Stadium and Exposition District voted to delay planned improvements to Smoothie King Center because Gail Benson, who owns the NFL Saints, is delinquent on payments for upgrades to the Superdome. Clark and Jeff Duncan wrote in a separate story that the ASM Global, which manages the Superdome, contends that the Saints are $11.5 million behind and haven't made a payment since December. The NFL team issues a statement saying that it has no problem paying the $11.5 million or its $41 million share of the $58 million project, but added, "We have, however, asked for certain documentation over an extended period, and we have not received this documentation." The Pelicans extended their lease at the arena June of 2029, so they'll be there for that long. So, by the way, an update on that last item, the Saints and Pelicans did send or pay the $11.5 million to keep the renovations going, and altogether, it's over $500 million for not only the Saints Superdome, but also the New Orleans Arena. So these are some of the news, notes, and items that we covered here. Before we get in the phone line, Lex, DC, y'all can feel free to chime in on any one of these items we talked about. I know Trey Murphy's interested in the Jose Alvarado thing. Feel free to have the floor.
Yeah, I'm pretty much on Najee Ingram gone, Jose out of here too. Um, Obviously, I don't think it's because we don't want to keep him. I think the money he's going to command is going to push him out, but maybe I guess it's they're picking up an option, so that's just for 1 year, right, Q?
Yeah, that's what they said.
So we can get our Jose farewell, so hopefully. Um, and the thing with Trey Murphy, man, that's pretty self-explanatory. I see him getting maybe 5 years, $125 million, something like that. 110, 130, somewhere in that range. And it's a pretty easy deal to get done. Like you look at what they getting that boy in Minnesota. He's a good defender and everything, but he's like their version of Herb Jones. They get him $150 million for 5 years. I like Trey. I like Herb, but as far as the future of the Pels, if I gotta pick one or the other, who y'all picking? You gonna pick Herb or you gonna pick Trey? You're gonna pick one in the future, 3 years from now. So it's pretty much self-explanatory. I think that's a done deal, man. And as far as the thing with Gail, man, Gail need to pay them bills. Bro. I don't know what's going on with that, but we got the Super Bowl coming here. The Pelicans were supposed to be getting, I think, upgrades to the training arena and all of that, right? Not just the Smoothie King Center.
Well, they're doing the cafeteria thing because of a lot of that. You know, they share a lot of that. They share facilities over there, so they're doing some.
Man, they got to get away from that, man.
That's how they operate, bro. They keep all the money that you give them. That's how rich people do it. That's how they do it. They
rich people stay rich because they spend other people's money.
That's how it goes. $150-something million is what the Saints supposed to owe. That they're supposed to be contributing to the renovations of buildings.
She says they need documentation. Like she's already made several other payments from what I've seen, right? And she doesn't want to pay this time because they've never sent over the documentation that they need to send. I don't understand that. But all these people talking about we need another owner, get Gail up out of here, she being cheap and all of that. Man, Gail Benson is we were clamoring for her when we realized that we could lose the Saints and the Pelicans. Now that she's the owner, and we know she come out and said even when she passes away, these teams aren't going nowhere. Now y'all want her out of here? I don't understand people for that, but it's a documentation issue that's causing her not to pay. So what she thinks these people are fraudulent, I really don't. I don't get that, but I mean, rules are rules, and you're supposed to have to follow them. But it just seems a little weird. So it's on. I guess Louisiana as a state isn't sending in the proper documentation for the go forward. To send the money that she needs to send so they can fund the rest of the money, pretty much.
Yeah, what's going on is that, like I said, it's $500 million that was majority taxpayer money issued by the state to these buildings, and the Saints were spent $150 million. I want to say total to get these renovations to add on to the renovation because it's a private enterprise. Let's not get it twisted. The Saints and Pelicans are private enterprises, but they're using state-funded buildings to make all this money. So $150 million based on the billions of dollars the Saints pull out of there in Pelican and Saint revenue, plus all of the sweetheart deals they get in tax incentives, and the fact that they got that Benson Tower that sits right there by the buildings, which they renovated, and the state pays twice the rent. They banking out, man. They don't lose. So, I mean, in the end, they just got called out, and they don't like. That's why they moved fast to resolve the money issue, because they don't like you looking at that side of the game. Focus totally on sport. They don't want you to look at the money side, because when you look at the money side, you see it's a ton of bad business deals between the state and the city that people will start really questioning why don't they pay rent on these buildings, stuff like that. They don't like when you talk about that. They really don't. So that's the half of it. But Lex, you won't chime in before we hit the callers. She ain't got nothing to say, Lex.
I mean, I've been talking. I mean, look, do better. You know what I'm saying? Just do better, man. I mean, look, just everything just needs to be better. Facilities, these contracts, Gail, I feel what you were saying as far as with that DC, as far as No, obviously Gail made it so after she dies, the teams will stay in New Orleans. But I think the biggest thing is I wouldn't mind her, being the governor if she just got basketball minds. Okay. And as you all put, football minds too. You know what I'm saying? Like she needs to have the right people, in position to really help the organizations. And I just kind of feel like she has a bunch of men below her that are milking her. And that's what hurts her situation. And that's why we keep coming back to the ownership. Because you've hired these men to run your business, to run, the football team, to run the basketball team. And they're really not doing the greatest job. You need those minds. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't go to an engineer to help you, to teach you how to cook. You want to go to a chef, right? Not an engineer. I mean, do y'all go to engineer? You know what I'm saying? Or a computer tech guy? You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to make it make sense. You want to go to a chef to help you with your cooking needs.
This is true.
So it's like you run a basketball organization. Go get basketball minds, and not men who are going to milk you for your money. I just feel like they're kind of, taking advantage of her. Henceforth, it's not just Griff or Loomis dude. It's her too, because you have to, obviously, if you're in a position of leadership, well, you have to take the good and the bad, because that's what leaders do. That's the same thing with Willie. Like, you have to take the good with the bad because you're in a position of leadership. Same thing with Griff. You're in a position of leadership. You're going to get some blame. That's natural. That's normal. So it's all of them. It's all of them. I mean, and that's why, a lot of people is like, oh, you got to look at the players. Well, no, you also have to look at who's the leader of the leader of the leader. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's consistent in a lot of different areas, a lot of different departments and professions. It's not just basketball. That's all I got.
Yeah, but it's still ultimately on the players because, like you said, and you clamoring for Trey coming here can affect the leaders of the leaders. Like Trey Young coming here could potentially get Willie Green fired. So
Because he's gonna expose him, stuff that we already
right,
know.
right. But when you have people that truly have a desire to be great, like you said, they shine a light on people who do not, even if they're above them or below them. So as long as we continue to, I guess, build out our organization with winners and a winning mentality. We've constantly heard that Gail is willing to open up that purse, baby, and pay that extra money. So, you know, we need to get the Pelicans organization in a situation where it makes sense to do so. Because I think Miss Benson is willing to pay the money if it makes sense. If she paid a luxury tax that we get 49 wins, I don't think that's gonna go over too well. I know she a sweetheart and all that. They are taking advantage of her, but I think some heads would roll.
Hey, but
You
you know
doing
what,
that?
DC, even with the 49 wins, like 49 wins, if the Pelicans had 49 wins last season, they would have been third in the West. They would have been third. So the thing is, it's like, if you get 49 wins and you do well in the playoffs, you see where I'm getting? Because see, being in the third seed, you're in the playoffs. You're in it. You're already in it. You're not fighting to get in it. And I think that's the thing. Like, look, you're in the playoffs, win some games, get to the next round. Guess what? That makes it a whole lot like, okay, look, this was a good situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you have to add that part in there. It's not just about having a winning season, but it's having a winning season and what you do in the postseason. Because let me tell you something. Nobody from how the Pelicans performed against OKC, nobody not once thought about, oh, the Pelicans were a top 10 defense. Well, where was it? Where was the top 10 defense?
It disappeared like hell in the playoffs. I'll tell you one thing.
Oh, well, the Pelicans got a top 10, top 15 offense. Well, where was it? You know what I'm saying? Like that.
I mean, the defense was still there. They had no offense.
Well, the thing is that all that stuff is non-existent. Nobody's looking at that. That stuff means something in regular season, but from how they performed, you wouldn't have believed that the Pelicans, just by the way what you saw against OKC, that they were a top 10 defense.
Mm-mm. And then the road stuff. What about the road warriors?
Yeah,
the reputation.
Yeah. You didn't see that either. It was like none of that stuff matters. And I say this all the time: regular season is totally different from the postseason. It's two different breeds. You can't mix the two. That's why once regular season's over. All that stuff, yeah, that's cool. That's why I think it's funny when they announce the awards during the postseason. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you start to see, oh, all right, defensive player of the year. Okay, oh my gosh, you got done. You know what I'm saying? It's like, is the defensive player of the year losing the game for the team? You're on the defensive end, you know what I'm saying? Or MVP. Be like, okay, MVP of regular season. Oh, shoot, your team is down. What you gonna do, dog? Everybody looking at you. You the MVP. That stuff starts being thrown in your face from regular season. Because if it's not showing up in the postseason, okay, if you're getting exposed and you had that title, you just received that award, hey man, I will. Where your MVP at? Y'all know how people do. They do it every year. They do it every year, man. It's crazy how that works.
Yeah, it worked kind of against Shea this year, man. That's for certain, man. You start seeing stuff like that occur. You got to live up to it, man, in the regular season. And like you said, the bones are made, man, in the postseason, man. And the Pelicans didn't make anything, but pissed a lot of family members off. That's for certain, man. All right, so let's move on, man. Let's go move into this side of the show. If you guys want to pop in, the pin is pinned. I mean, the link is pinned to the Pale chat, man. You hit that link, you can get on here and talk your stuff. Right now, the question: who would you prefer the Pelicans to trade for? Trae Young is our top person right now, with 44% of the family members saying Trae, and second, of course, is DeJounte Murray with 36%. So that's interesting. All right, we got Brother Don about to come in. Brother Don, welcome in the stream, bro. How you doing tonight?
Hey, y'all can hear me?
Yes, sir.
We can.
Oh,
Yeah, we hear you, brother.
Yeah.
Finally made it, brother.
Yeah, he been trying to get on for like third time's a charm.
I've been missing y'all, man. I've been trying so hard to get on here.
Welcome, brother. Welcome on in, my brother. How you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Just trying not to stress too much over the Pelicans, for real. Just having a little. I feel like we at rock bottom right now, so it's like it's nowhere to go but up. So it's
Right.
like, what you about to say, DC?
Nah, I was agreeing. I said, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, man, but I see the question y'all had, who would we rather from Trae, DeJounte, Garland, and who was the other one?
What? Just the guards?
Shadion Sharp.
Oh, you funny.
No, you mean Cam Reddish.
Who was the one of the four person? Fourth
Jaden
option?
Ivey. Jaden
Oh,
Ivey.
Jaden Ivey.
No, he is
Okay.
not an option. Who made him
That's
an option?
that's horrible, Q. You putting Jaden Ivey up there, bro. Jared
DC.
Allen.
I thought
Y'all for Jaden Ivey is supposed to be Jared Allen.
No, it's Darius Garland.
Darius Garland and Jared
Yeah,
Allen.
D. Mitchell.
Spider Mitchell. It's probably what I should put up there.
We ain't getting him. Even if he don't go to the Cleveland, that man don't want to come here.
It's an
He said he
option.
won't make it out the second round. We made it out the second round, what, twice in franchise history? I don't think he's coming here.
But I ain't gonna lie, that would be interesting. Spider Mitchell along with
It
Zion
would
Williamson.
be.
Yeah.
It would be, man. But if he hadn't played for Utah and went to the playoffs and done all what he did in Utah and then went over there to Cleveland, I could see it. But if he leaving Cleveland after they just made it to the second round, coming here, that's about as well as we'll do unless they get rid of Willie as soon as they get him.
You keep forgetting
Like-
the Zion
But
Williamson.
that's what it comes down to, though.
It's the Zion Williamson is the
Yeah,
attraction.
Q, if we was in the East, I think we can make it all the way to the finals with the Zion Williamson paradigm and all of that. But in the West, bro, that ain't enough, man. That ain't enough, bro.
Bro,
Yeah.
you
That is
underestimate.
not enough in the West, man.
Go
You
get
know-
No, Prime LeBron is not getting you out of this West win right now. You need more than that, bro.
Why you sound like you in the hallway?
what?
Because I am. I got big old cathedral halls up in here where I'm at, man. It's echoing.
Trying to get away from the baby.
Yeah, he way down there.
Hey, but look
Weird
though,
laugh
like
at that, bro.
I want if I would have to choose between those guys, man. Well, I'm gonna put them in order. So my first priority is Trae Young. Trae Young, an alpha on the court. Trae Young, a winner on the court. Trae Young, also a high IQ basketball player. And a good point guard. He even though Trae Young can score, he also likes to feed his teammates. You dig what I'm saying?
That's
and
right.
I feel as though he's much of a winner and he has a high IQ enough to know, like, all right, get Zion the ball, get Zion, you know what I'm saying, get him some easy buckets and stuff like that. So I wouldn't worry about him being like, because DC had said earlier, we could possibly run into like another Ingram. Could we? You know what I'm saying? Because of how I guess, ball dominant he can be sometimes. But I don't think, they're two different type of players. Trae Young's a winner, high IQ. And then after that, I'm going second. Was Donovan on that list?
Yes.
No, he ain't, but I mean, you talking about the poll?
Yeah.
No, he wasn't on that, my brother. But I could probably throw him on there.
But yeah, I like Donovan, but I don't know if I like him with us. I think I'd rather DeJounte. Because like point guard, you dig what I'm saying? I'm still thinking point guard of what we need. And also any player that come here, I need, we need them to understand that Zion's the guy. You dig what I'm saying? And that first like option is, you know what I'm saying, the playoff Zion. You see what I'm saying? So I feel like Donovan, he might lose control of that. And he's not a point guard, he's more of a shooting guard. So he I wouldn't see him, putting us in the better positions than DeJounte and Trae can have us in. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, bro. I gotta stop you right there, man. You don't think Donovan Mitchell will put us in a better position than DeJounte Murray? Really?
Nah. Not for as far as the fit for what we need. Like we need somebody.
DeJounte Murray he's not like an amazing perimeter player like that, bro. DeJounte Murray take a lot of the same shots Brandon Ingram take.
Yeah, but I done seen DeJounte get triple doubles and double doubles and stuff, bro. He feeds his team. He rebound and he play defense. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen him cook the Celtics. Like I seen him do this like all around game. Like, and he's more of a pure point guard than Donovan. I don't Donovan, to me, Donovan, I don't see him going somewhere and being the second star. I mean, if he goes somewhere and be forced in that situation, yes, but like if you think about Donovan, who he is now, like you see, he about to push Garland ass out. You see what I'm saying? Like, so it's like because they want to build around him because of his style and you know what I'm saying and how
But
he plays.
Zion's game isn't in his way though, man. I mean, he get a lot of his points from
Yeah,
behind the arc, man. A lot of them.
back to still like who's gonna calm the offense down and feed Zion and put the whole team in position. That's what point guards do, and he's not a point guard. You see what I'm saying? We still need that. People that can control the game a little bit, slow it down, get everybody in their spots, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I agree, but I mean, if you got a chance to get Donovan Mitchell, man, that's like saying you got a chance to get
I don't
a top 10, top 15
and to
player
be
right
honest,
now. I'm not passing that up for nothing. I'm gonna
did
find a
y'all hear
point guard some type of way.
did
We're
y'all
gonna
hear
make it
Brandon
work.
Jennings? Did y'all hear Brandon Jennings' comments on Donovan?
Yeah, I thought he was full of crap.
Right,
Personally,
but I didn't fully,
What did he
I,
say?
I ain't gonna lie,
yeah, I would,
I didn't fully hear it, right? But
yeah.
when
You
he
said
be
it went
saying that,
viral though.
I kind of see what he's talking about. Like I don't really see Donovan as a lot of people see him as such elite player. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yes, sir.
elite to me, bro. It's not just about scoring and shit like that. It's about your will to find a way to win the game and affect your whole team. So to me, Trae Young is more elite than Donovan. You see what I'm saying? A guy that can affect his whole team in almost a lot on all aspects. You dig what I'm saying? Like he can affect his whole team. Donovan, think about his teams that they've been pretty good, but they don't go to the next level. Why?
Because he was in the West all that time, and he did a lot
Even
in
so in the East,
Utah,
bro,
man.
he not gonna get past Boston. None of them niggas, bro. He wouldn't even get past the Heat if they got some stars over there. Like
Nobody getting
that's
past the Heat by
I
themselves,
mean,
though, my brother. You know what
Donovan
I'm saying?
just
Like,
bro. Donovan
you
gonna
know,
go down. He gonna go in
Boston.
the Hall of Fame for scoring and never have a chip or none of that. That's what he's gonna do. He's not no elite player to me. He's a great
I,
scorer.
I think he
That's
elite.
how I feel. And it's and really like if you look at his resume, it kind of validates that. I mean, what has he really truly done? Did he make? Might have made one conference final. I don't think. Did he though? Did he make one conference finals?
I think they got past. Didn't they get past the Nuggets that year that the Lakers went?
I don't know.
no, they didn't. That
Or
you
they got
talking
put out
about?
by the Nuggets.
Fell short.
Yeah, but it went to 7 games.
Yeah,
Like
but
But the next
the
best player
Magic
on
they
that
went to
team
seven
was
games with
Rudy
the Magic.
Gobert,
Yeah,
man. Rudy
they went to seven
Gobert was
games.
his running mate, bro. That was his next best
They just went.
player. Like,
They just went 7 games with the Orlando Magic too.
I mean, I get that. I can't ain't really nothing you can say about that, but
But
they won.
yeah, that's
And the
a
Magic ain't and
We
they ain't no
they ain't no,
team where you
but
just
they
throw
ain't
away.
no
We couldn't
slouch.
beat the Magic
But
at all.
according to what we putting Donovan,
The
what we
Magic
trying to
whooped up
put
on the
Donovan Mitchell,
Pelicans.
huh?
So I
Right,
said the
right. The
Magic.
Magic swept the Pelicans.
yeah, the
Yeah,
Magic,
I
yeah,
mean,
Don Magic
so
The
wasn't a bad.
Magic ain't
But
they ain't no team where you just can
my
manhandle
thing
them,
is we
man. Them
know
people
what
serious.
my thing is we know our issue. Our issue is the coaching and shit like that. So that's a lot of the reason why they swept us. You know what I'm saying? And also the misfit of BI and all that. But we're not gonna use the excuse for the Cavs. They had everything. And Donovan's supposed to be this elite player. But it took
Nah,
7
I don't
games.
think the Cavs got everything. They got holes. They don't have a true small forward to be
Man,
honest with you.
they got some pieces.
But
Shit.
why do you
neither do the
why do
Magic.
you
So
think
you know,
so why do you think they want to move if Donovan signs with them, why they would want to move Garland and Jared Allen? And they've even brought
Because
Evan Mobley into
because
the picture.
because Donovan has this aura, he has a superstar aura a little bit. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you look at his game, like you like, damn, like, oh shit, he a dog, like yeah, he turning up. So you look at that, you're like, yeah, we gotta go forward with him. You see what I'm saying? Well, when Garland is like, he more so probably gotta play with a guy that can, you know what I'm saying, fit with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, or that he can fit with. Like Donovan can control. They feel like he can control the whole thing more than Garland. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they will move him. I don't think Garland. I mean, Garland not. No, I mean he's not elite. So I mean, he still got a lot to prove.
So we definitely don't want Garland, right?
But I don't want to say definitely because Garland might can fit good with Zion.
I don't think
Look, we don't need. I don't think I would like for us to have a great superstar like Trae Young with Zion, but I don't think we need a great superstar. We just need a guy that has gravity. Garland does have gravity, and he's also smart and he fits with Zion. You see what I'm saying? So it's a great fit. You know, you don't need all these superstars on the team together. It's as long as it fit. Like we seen Zion with just Trey Murphy and them. We was #1 in the West for a little bit with just Trey Murphy and the guys we had, and Z was running that. So we see how good we can be with Zion running the fucking show.
Yeah, I think Darius Garland a little bit better fit if you're looking at it from that perspective because he plays a lot better off ball too than Trey does.
I mean,
he's not ball. He don't have to be ball dominant, and he's a better defender than Trey. I think you can get pretty good defense out of him too at 6'3".
But like Lex said though, we need that playoff pedigree though. You hear me? Like we need that. He a winner. He a winner. All that shit gonna go out the window. All that defense, all that should go out the window when Trey come to play. That should go out the window. He gonna find a way to win. He gonna get Zion, whatever he gotta do. If it's a game, Trey hogging the ball, he gonna go in that film room. He gonna talk to Z. Z, we gonna get you involved a lot more this game. He that type of leader. He the type of winner.
Can you ask me a question, man? Like Trey is a true point, but who has Trey made an all-star? Most true, awesome point guards I know, they help create another all-star.
I think Clint Capella, didn't he make it one? What else with the Rockets? No,
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
it was with the Rockets.
I think
I don't remember being an all-star in Atlanta. I could be wrong though.
Yeah, he might have been. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
But he can't make somebody an all-star who was already an all-star.
But the thing is, we only like the thing is, man, that's a small sample. He only been with the Hawks, so we will have to wait and see. You know what I'm saying? We can go based on what we already have been saying, and we feel like he's a guy that gets his whole team involved. I mean, that's what he was doing when he's through his time being with the Hawks. He do his thing, but he got to do his thing. But he also get his teammates involved at the same time. You know what I'm saying? He mixed it up. Doubles. He's led the league in assists before and all that.
Nah, I like Trey. I'll be happy to get him. But my thing is a lot of his assists when I go look at him, it's like he's stat stuffing it a little bit, you know what I mean? But like actually elevating the level of players around him, I ain't really seen that much. Which I don't think we really need that, so I don't think that's an issue. But
just imagine this DC. I ain't gonna lie, DC. This envision a playoff game, man. I don't give a fuck who we going against. And Trae Young, Zion in the fourth quarter playing off each other. And Trae Young throw the lob to Zion. And Trae Young looking at the crowd like, this is our shit. This is our house. Like this imagine that, bro. I already see the victories that we can create with that duo, man.
Mm-hmm.
I see that. I see just like Trae Young could be like, man, we in the A. Trae gonna bring that shit, man. We in the NO.
I see it, man, but I'm not trying to hitch my wagon to just one person because I know the Pels organization, and I'm struggling to believe that they can pull this off.
Yeah,
that's why I'm like, hey, Darius Garland, I think we could get that one. We could do that. If they get Trae, I'll be happy. You know what I mean? But Trae, I think I'm hearing all the stuff like, oh, people don't really want Trae. You're hearing all that bullshit right now. But when it comes, the season is really over. I think Trae is gonna be the number one guy out there on the market, man. He the number one guy if they really moving him. Wow. I don't know what Atlanta doing, man.
It's on
if it's DeJounte Murray or Darius Garland, I'm taking Darius Garland all day. But if we get DeJounte Murray, I'm not mad at that either because of the value as far as what he make money wise and what else we could do with the team. And we do have a true point guard. So it's like we got a few situations where I don't think the Pelicans could lose. Now, if they go all the way out the box and go to Orlando or some shit like that, oh man,
nobody going.
I just hope man.
I'm going to Detroit, bro. Come on.
I said last thing I'm gonna say.
Man, you can book it. You heard it here first with that Detroit one, bro. I don't know. I think that might happen, bro. I don't want it to happen, but I think that's what it might be. We got Trajan Langdon over there. David Griffin talking to him. He a master in communications.
They're not getting.
That's probably what it end up being. Hey, last thing I'm gonna say though,
he a little handshake type dude. Oh my bad. Go ahead, brother. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get all of it. But yeah, man, I just hope we make the best decision. And I think that might happen. That's a big possibility that Pistons, because Trajan Langdon, he probably won't be out over there, and we probably end up getting Jaden and Jalen Duran. I don't mind that. If that's what happened, that's what happened. We got to make some damn move. It don't even matter at this point. I just want to see us get better and improve. I hope Willie still gets fired.
That's not better.
But other than that, man, I think Borrego might go to the Pistons too, and everything. So, but anyway, so yeah, that's all I gotta say, man. But I hope we make the right decisions, man. So yeah, man. Appreciate y'all though.
Thank you, Don, man. Appreciate you, my brother. You be safe out there, my brother, and I appreciate you trying, man. To pop back in, brother. I know we had some issues.
Yeah, I downloaded the app. I used to go through the.
There you go.
The app, yeah.
There you go.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right,
man. Much love, brother. Appreciate you.
Much
Peace.
love.
All right, that's brother Don, always keeping it real, man. But this is the thing. We pinpointed this, and a lot of this is out there. We had to prioritize these deals. I mean, because that's what the Pelicans are looking at. They attempted to trade with the Atlanta Hawks during the season, and they got a little greedy. They wanted Herb Jones in the deal, and the Pelicans said no. But I mean, if you look at it, most people from the flock, they want a splash signing. And I know DC what you're saying, but I'm saying at the end of the day, if you put Trae Young and Zion together with not just Zion and Trae, but it's that collection of people that do two different things really good at two different areas of the floor, and then they have all this space, and you have shooters along with Trae, with Herb and Trey Murphy. And of course, the Pelicans are going to get the center they want. Well, whoever it is.
I gotta stop you right there, Q. Gotta stop you right there. Next question.
Let me finish before you start.
Wait, hold up, because you're talking about the shooters and all this. For Atlanta to really do that, don't you think they would want one of Trey Murphy or Herb Jones? If that's what it takes. If that's what it takes to get Trae Young, and you can have him, well, maybe just one or two other picks. Are you doing it?
We're not.
Brandon's on a big contract.
Right. We're not giving up. We're not giving up Trey Murphy. We're not giving up Trey Murphy. We're not giving up Herb Jones, and we're not giving up Jordan Hawkins. We're not giving up none of those guys.
Trae Young may make more than Brandon Ingram. I think he make like 43.
I just did a trade, man, with the money.
Okay, the picks that the Pelicans are not using that are depreciating by holding on to them, give those bad boys up because you ain't doing nothing with them no way. And then you have Dyson. You know what I'm saying? He's a nice young player. He's a defensive. They need defense.
I'm just saying from the perspective of Atlanta and what they want.
Yeah, I understand.
So
you know what they want?
No, we're not giving that
so
up.
So they're gonna give up Trae Young for BI, and that's that.
You're gonna add a center with it. You're not gonna get BI for the Pelicans are gonna attempt to try to get, like I said, they're gonna try to flip BI into 2 starters, and they could, depending on who they give up. Now, this trade here, I got them giving the center that they wanted. They wanted the backup center for the Hawks.
Why are the Hawks doing all of this for us? What are we giving them?
Well, man, what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, the trade
like
works. You get the first round draft picks, but contracts speak when you can look at the trade.
I put Trae up there with like a Rudy Gobert and now he's not KD, but like just those type of trades we looked at. Donovan Mitchell, and like he's kind of in that realm a little bit with them guys. So far as what they would want for compensation for him, we got to be realistic. It ain't like they just gonna give us Trae Young.
They're not gonna
for
just
Larry Dice and Ingram.
3-team trade.
3-4 picks. We willing to give up 3-4 first to get Trae?
Yo, they got 100 first round picks. The people loaded with first round.
I'm just saying, like the price, it ain't gonna be cheap to get him.
I mean, how do you know? I mean, because it seemed like everybody else been getting deals. Dallas got a deal with Gafford. You know what I'm saying?
That ain't Trae Young, Les. That ain't a Trae Young caliber player.
Even with Rudy, why did Utah give up? Or why did T-Wolves take that deal? Why did they give that?
Take what deal?
It's like as far as the T-Wolves with Utah.
I know they gave up 5 first round picks to get Rudy Gobert.
So why did they do that? I mean, we can ask all these why.
No. I'm saying, are we gonna do that?
Or you can look at.
That's all I'm saying. Are we willing to get him at any cost, or
I mean, are we willing to get anybody else at any cost? I mean, what are the Pelicans trying to do?
DC tripping.
What are the Pelicans?
I'm asking questions, man. I'm just asking questions because I don't think we just getting trade for Larry, a couple of picks and in BI. Like I don't Dyson. I don't think it's that easy. That's all.
We got to do 3-team trades too, DC. I mean, it doesn't have to just be between 2 teams. There's ways around this. There's the cash considerations, all that stuff. There's a whole bunch of situations where they look if the Celtics can trade head coaches to the Clippers, okay. I mean, I'm
all for it.
Listen, we can put trade.
I think we could possibly get it,
you know what I'm together and trade them.
But if Atlanta wants what they want, the people want it heard. So if they adamant about them getting Herb, look, we'll give you Trae. You give us Herb, BI, whatever. We give you Trae and whatever they to match the salaries. Are we still doing it? Or would y'all still want that to happen?
If you
That's
compare,
that was for DeJounte. That was for DeJounte being on the table, and
so they wanted her for DeJounte. Now they giving us was a better player than DeJounte, and they don't want her.
They're not going to give up Herb Jones or Trey Murphy or Jordan Hawkins, in my opinion, to land Trae Young.
Well, we might have to start considering other options, possibly. That's all I'm saying. That was my whole point on bringing out all the other stuff, Darius Garland, looking at other people, because I think the price to get Trae Young is going to be pretty steep.
If they're trying to trade Trae Young, okay, if they're trying to, and they have the number 1 pick, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so if they trade him, clearly they're not in a retooling mode. Okay. They're more so in a rebuild. Okay. Because if you have the number 1 draft pick, a lot of times you're building around who? You know what I'm saying? You're drafting the number 1 pick to build around.
Right.
That's usually what that means. Okay, there may be other situations, but 9 times out of 10, when you're drafting a number 1 draft pick, that is a perennial piece that you are trying to build around. That means it's like, well, Trae Young, because right now Trae Young is that dude on the team. And if you're trying to build around a player, a lot of times they're going to move like whoever the team was, when they were there, they usually move that person. So, I mean, what I'm saying is getting somebody like Herb, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously you're not in a win now situation. That doesn't even make sense. Herb is a stellar defender. He's a stud defender. What are you going to do with this dude? What are you going to do with a defender like that who is ready to contend, who's in the position to contend? I mean, I think you have to think about their situation. They're probably going to, a lot of times they want to get young pieces.
Yep.
Okay. That's why I keep saying Dyson, because Dyson is basically a poor man's version of Herb, right? And plus he's young.
Got the shooting.
He's young. And then the picks. Those things, youth and picks have value. Actually, a lot of times they hold more value than an actual player, unless you're trying to win now. And if they have the number 1 pick and they want to get the number 1 pick and they want to build around that number 1 pick, then they don't mind. Their mentality is totally different from a team that's trying to win now. The Pelicans are trying to win now. We've already had the rebuild. We trying to hang with the Joneses right now, like the likes of the T-Wolves and the Thunder. They ahead of schedule.
Yeah, you definitely got to speed it up, and you got to make a splash move that makes you.
They're already behind.
Exactly.
The Pelicans are behind. They're delayed. Everything about from making these moves, from holding on to these picks for too long, basically the value of those picks had depreciated because of the moves that the Lakers and the Bucks aggressively were trying to what?
Just trying to win. Yep, just trying to win.
Yeah, they've been depreciating. The value of those picks have been depreciating because the Lakers and the Bucks have aggressively been trying to win. They have not been idle. We cannot rely on that no more. We can't do that. So it's like, look, be proactive and make a move. Make a move. Use those picks. Put them up in the package. Dyson Daniels is there. You got EJ Liddell. What's his name ain't gonna play him no way. You got Sebron. They ain't gonna play him no way. Yeah, give them all this youth.
And Lex, the Pelicans have done they due diligence to help the Lakers make sure those Laker picks that we own are not any good anyway by keep losing it to the damn Lakers.
Exactly. I mean, it's like you have to. You got to do something. And the thing is like to just continue, like right now we're sitting here, right? Everything that's been happening with the Pelicans, it's been subtraction. And it hasn't been subtraction to addition.
Mm-hmm.
It's just been subtraction.
Mm-hmm.
They just let go of Zion Williamson's a trainer. They just let her go. Trajan is gone. Borrego, he's close to leaving.
Yep.
You see, like where's the subtraction to addition or the addition part? Like we're not right now. Like we've been talking, like something we knew that before the postseason, something needed to be done. This team has been so delayed and so far behind. It's like you all are sitting, twiddling your thumbs. You know what I'm saying? Just doing nothing. It's like hurry up and wait. What are you waiting for? Because while the Pelicans have been waiting, the Lakers are aggressively trying to get better. And that's one thing I can apply of the Lakers. At least they trying. At least they trying. Like they may not be making the right moves, but they trying to get something done. They trying to do something. They may not be doing it right, but at least they're trying to stay relevant and they're trying to win because that's the type of organization. Man, I wish the Pelicans would have just a smidget of that.
Yeah, the JB Bickerstaff firing by Cleveland really is interesting because this is a guy that was actually getting them to win, and he looked like he was building.
And he's won more games than Willie.
Yep.
And he's only been there for what, 2 years?
Yep.
Compared to Willie's 3.
They put him in the
he's been dealing with injuries.
And JB Bickerstaff is a better head coach than Willie.
He is.
Frank Vogel.
I'll take him.
Phoenix after 1 year that won more same amount of games and had a higher seeding than Willie. They put him in the street. So I mean, you got guys out there, head coach wise, that are more experienced and better head coaches currently than Willie Green. But the Pelicans feel like they got their man. We kind of stuck with them. But yes, I do think the Pelicans, the smart money move would definitely be a DeJounte Murray, no doubt about it. But I think the Hawks, according to what they're putting out, they're not going to trade both these guys, Young and Murray. They're going to decide they're going to see what they can get for one versus the other. And looks like they're really looking, and Adrian Wojnarowski said that they're looking to really move Trae Young for an asset that can bring him back, that can help the team move forward along with the first round draft pick or whoever they do keep. So they do have a process to see what's the better trade they can get for either one of these guys. And Cleveland's an interesting thing as well. So we'll just have to monitor it to see, man. But yeah, both of those teams have players that the Pelicans want, and we're salivating over whether it's Jared Allen or Darius Garland or Atlanta with Trae Young or the backup center. Either one, they like these players a lot. So we'll see what kind of stuff that they got going on. We got some more callers about to chime in. We got DJ from State of Pelicans, and we got 2K Nola. We're gonna bring the fellas on in. Y'all welcome on to the stream tonight. How y'all doing?
Yo, what up? What up?
How you doing, brother?
I'm chilling.
That's what's up.
How y'all doing though?
Good, Chris. How you feeling tonight, bro? What do you think about some of the rumors circulating around some of the players we discussed tonight? Of course, Trae Young. We talked about Darius Garland. We talked about DeJounte Murray. We talked about Spider Mitchell. What do you think about some of these potential trade candidates for the Pelicans, Brandon Ingram?
First on my end, I called it last time I chatted with y'all that your boy Trajan was gonna go, and a lot of people undermining the impact of what that's gonna have on the team. So I think because when he was coming out, before he was hired, he was the highest sought after person as a GM outside of the OKC dude, and for good reason. He know what he doing. So now it's like the people we got coming in, it's like you don't know how they're going to draft. You don't know who they value as players. You don't know how they see talent. And I think that's going to hurt the Pelicans a little bit because it's like 50-50. They're either going to do it right or they're going to do it wrong, and we either going to go up or down. And now people wanting all these big players to come in and save the team, but you're going to need to get somebody in here that know what they're doing. Like, I think Donovan Mitchell would be the most suitable guy for this team because you need somebody that could take over and close games in the fort. And he one of those guys you could put the ball in his hand and not be nervous about it, you know. Really shifty. He move around. He don't just sit in the corner. So he's one of those guys that you would really want on your team. Yeah, drop a couple 50 balls on you real quick. And having somebody like that on side of Zion is dangerous. You know, you want somebody like a splash player like a Steph. Like, I don't think Trae Young is gonna be it. I really don't have faith in that type of player for this team. I don't think that's gonna move the needle for us at all. I think people are gonna see that and just see a defensive liability. If it was Kyrie, I'd have been like, cool. But Trae Young, I don't trust it. Like, I think the biggest splash we'll be able to get is Donovan Mitchell, and we'll have to go out all in and do it. You know, like I would give up anything because the Pelicans have a lot of one-dimensional players on the team. We got a lot of people that can score, can't defend. You got a lot of people, and then their scoring is not even like big scoring. I think the scoring is like 10 points, 12 points. It's not. We're not going to really begin. We got a lot of one-dimensional players. They either defend, can't score, because score, can't defend. Or you got people that rebound but can't protect the rim. Like we gotta have those complete players on the team, and I think the Pelicans should look to, moving some of the guys. You don't gotta gut the whole team, but I think Donovan Mitchell is the guy we should go after. And if not, go bigger than that. If you could, go big. Like when you're trying to move Brandon Ingram, it's just how do people value Brandon Ingram on the market right now? If that's gonna be who you're trading, because this new GM might do something totally left that we don't suspect.
I don't know about that, bro. Even though we got a new GM, we still got the same old VP. Shout out to you, Sean. Appreciate
actually the true GM too,
Yeah,
because
you got it.
everybody makes that mistake. Even mainstream media thinks he's the GM.
They do. Shout out to Sean R. Castro.
Right, this ain't even big news. Trajan Langdon.
Trey B.I., Dyson Daniels, Larry Nance, Valanciunas after we re-sign them. We'll get Trae Young, Clint Capella. This will financially work. Jonas, our picks. This should work. Thank you. Appreciate you, Sean, for the super chat, my
Wait,
brother.
so they said we getting Jonas back? I thought Jonas was out. I
No,
thought
he's saying sign him and make him a signing trade for Atlanta.
But last I heard from inside that Jonas was
okay. What did you say?
Signing trade? He's just gonna look to sign with a new team.
No,
but whatever new team he want to be with, you can get them guys to do signing trades a lot of time. Like Lonzo Ball wanted to leave, and he wanted to go to the Bulls. He went where he wanted, and we kind of facilitated it in a trade. His contract was pretty much about to be up. So I think you do the same thing with Jonas, but I don't. Is that what Atlanta wants? Does Jonas want to go to Atlanta? Would be the question.
Yeah,
they paying him, I guess.
Why would Jonas do us that favor though? Why not him just
a lot of
sign with
players
a new
do.
team?
I got about 45 million reasons. That's about how much money he made over here. They paid him when nobody else wanted to.
Yeah,
got him up out of Memphis. Did give him a good role until this year, which was crazy. But I don't think Jonas hates us, but I damn sure don't think he won't come back.
No,
he actually loves being. He actually wants to be here in New Orleans.
Willie's doing that.
Willie,
not what Willie did.
No,
yeah, I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm separating the two, right? I mean, yeah, Willie ain't really with the Pelicans for real. I mean, we saw that in the clutch and his decision making and his adjustments, right?
Yeah.
Helping out the other team. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. It's like, dude, you don't know how to use me. You don't know my game. You don't know.
Right.
You're not even trying to utilize me. You quit on me. You know what I'm saying? Like when things were working, when I'm in the game, you go away from me. You don't start me in the second half.
Nope.
It's
whether he's balling or not, it's the same treatment.
Yeah, I mean, it's that hurts players, man. When you do that to a player, all because you like how long does it take to know your player personnel on average? What y'all think?
Depends on the
new coach. If you're a new coach, probably like I'll give it about 20 games.
Okay, it's been 3 years. I rest my case, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'll give it about 20 games to know exactly who you got. And if but Willie Green's situation, I'm pretty sure they're not gonna get rid of him because he improved every year. And not our season is undermined. It just we won 49 games. That would have been a really good record last season. A lot of teams improved in the West. And our season, this team is not a bad team. We're in a bad situation now with Trajan leaving and Jonas leaving because it's like everybody's trade package I've seen is banking on if Jonas will give us a signing trade because Ingram value then went down a little bit. Like I ain't hear too many people buzzing
According to
about it
who? 2K Nola? Who? How did Ingram's value go down? According to who?
because you got to think about it. The way Ingram plays is slow. It's really really slow,
Yeah.
and you got a lot of teams playing with a lot of speed and seeing the way that Ingram played in the playoffs, being that guy. Like a lot of teams not checking for Ingram, especially if Donovan gonna be on the board. Like what other teams need a Brandon Ingram right now? You could name probably two or three.
Any team who don't have a perimeter wing, a premier wing, I think would be willing to take him. But do they have what we want? I can name some teams that like Utah. You know what I'm saying? Why wouldn't they want him? I'm sure Miami would want him. Philly.
Utah.
Cleveland.
How do you
Atlanta.
negotiate Brandon Ingram being the prize in any deal? You're gonna be like, hey, you
No,
got
no, no,
some.
no. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying there's teams I'm sure that want him. They got a lot of people saying he's more coveted than Trey Young. I don't know how true that is, but that's
Yeah,
what
because
some of the
he's
some of the
taller.
news is saying.
He taller.
Huh?
He taller. He play a little more defense now. He can actually score. Trey Young is gonna cost you
Yeah,
40 something. I don't know how much Brandon Ingram gonna cost you, but
7 million
Trey Young gonna
less than Trey
cost you.
Young, and then Bi he want the max, so that's 50 million. Trey Young
That's
is actually cheaper.
I don't know if anybody's gonna give him that max though. That's crazy.
I think they will. I mean, we look
I
at a
mean,
guy like you look
Give
at
him the
Jalen Brown.
max.
Jalen Brown got 370 million, huh? Or what is it, 310 or 370?
Who did you
Jalen
say?
Brown?
Oh
Are
yeah,
you seeing
Jalen
what he's
Brown
doing
got
in the
300
playoffs?
something million.
Are you seeing what he's doing in the playoffs?
I don't
Jalen
care.
Brown.
Like
Jalen Brown will
Jalen
never let
Brown, you
dudes
take
out the
him
way
off
that.
that team, my eyes don't lie. You take him off that team and you put him somewhere else, I don't
But
see him
right
doing all
now,
that. They got a good team.
he's been carrying a team over Tatum. And Tatum is the dude.
I
I'll
get
take
that.
Jalen Brown on this team any day over
I get that, but I don't want Jalen
Yeah,
Brown for
I mean,
300 something million.
they
That's all
traded
I don't
anyway.
think he a $300 million player.
I don't
Like
believe he is
I
either.
don't see that. I don't
I
see
don't
that.
think he is
That's
either.
all I'm
But you
saying.
know what? The thing
He's a
is
good
that
player.
he's out there balling. Plus, not only that, he's been with the team. He's been available. Not only that, they've gone to the Eastern Conference Finals like 3 years in a row. I
Yeah,
mean,
not 3 years
regardless
in a
of what
row.
we think,
They've been there every single
it's
year
been
that
longer than
LeBron
that.
been in the
But I
building.
mean, we're not gonna act like they not in the East. The East kind of top heavy. They got like two, 3 teams, and that be it.
all I'm saying is that when you look at his contract, it makes a whole lot more sense than what Brandon's working with.
No, right, Lex. But I'm just saying, if he can get 300 million, that's almost like 60 million something dollars a year.
Mm-hmm.
Might be more. Is it? Is it more? It
It's
might be
about to
more than
go
that, depending
higher,
on the year.
like
Yeah,
90.
that's what I'm saying. Like we are looking at that like that, but they got other teams out there that might not consider that as much. Can you look at Kawhi Leonard got 296 million? He don't even play, and they'll happily keep giving him more money to keep people in the seats. As far as him,
And he played 68 games. What is Brandon?
Flex, he played 68 games probably in 4 years. Kawhi always
Hey,
hurt.
hey, but
Kawhi been hurt
The
since the
worst
Raptor days, man.
The person
came out
that's
with
worse
that
than
new
all of them is
policy.
Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris
Yeah,
gave
Who?
the Pelicans
Tobias.
Tobias?
0 points,
Hey,
0
Look
everything
at
for
that.
38
and
minutes.
he didn't score nothing.
And how much he got paid?
He had
A
like
lot
he got a max. He got a max.
in my 21 Savage voice.
To pot,
And
yeah.
you don't think Brandon worth more than him? So it's just I like our perspective on it, and I think other teams aren't. I don't
Not
think after
not no
what we
one
saw
more
last
than not
year, well, I
more
don't want to
than
pay Bi
Jalen
no
Brown. I'll take
$50 million.
Jalen Brown
I'm
any
not.
day, but
I
Tobias
I'm
mean,
not
Harris, yeah.
saying that,
well, the
but I could see
76ers,
somebody
like,
doing it. Is all I'm saying. I could see other teams
but
doing
the thing is, the 76ers don't have anything that the Pelicans won't, with the exceptions of Maxey, and they're not letting Maxey go. They ain't doing that. And the only reason I say that Brandon would be a good fit there is like 2K Noah said, Brandon slows the game down. He did that when he was with the Lakers. He's a half court guy. He slows the game. His game just naturally slows the game down. So when you pair him up with somebody like Embiid, well, guess what? When Embiid is in the game, he slows the game down. So you got it kind of matches.
They ain't giving me Tyrese Maxey. I ain't got nothing to say to him. And they not giving that. They already said they're
Yeah.
trying to build around Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. So
Exactly.
the
So
teams. The teams that we want to deal with that probably are interested in Brandon. We already mentioned them. They got a bunch of other teams. I'm sure would be willing to take them. That ain't trying to give us nothing. Utah, I don't think would be the worst if we can get Colin Sexton or Larry Markin in, but I know they ain't giving up him. And I guess they some combination of some of the other guys, but you got to give me Colin Sexton at least, or Larry Markin in some type of trade package. But anything outside of that, like what the
I think
hell would you
Jordan
want from
Clarkson
Utah?
too.
Who?
Jordan Clarkson.
Nah,
I ain't gonna lie,
yeah.
Lex. I don't really want him.
You know?
Nah,
I mean, he's a
it's like having a baby CJ. He's not even actually CJ. It's almost like CJ light. Nah, I'm cool on that.
I would keep shooting threes.
I like him if we didn't have CJ on the team already. I see.
Okay, yes, let him CJ go. Let him go.
What you go? You gonna do a? You gonna buy out this contract? Or you go?
I mean, trade him.
To
Look,
who?
like
We got one more year on that, Lex. Now
Yeah.
next year when this contract is expiring,
Yeah.
we can get off of him next year when it's expiring. We got the whole at this year.
or
Yeah, hold on,
they,
yeah.
they probably trade CJ at the trade deadline. To be honest,
Maybe they could pull
you know what
that.
I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because the thing
Mm-hmm.
is, whatever move that they make, because let me tell you something, I do not want to see CJ and Trae Young in that backcourt if the Pelicans go with Trae. I wouldn't want to see that. They hunt CJ on the defensive end. So the thing is, we don't want two guys like that would be all wrong. And I want to make that clear. Like, obviously, if you go after Trae Young, you're gonna have to compensate. You're either moving Trey Murphy over to the 2, okay, and bring in some size to fill your front court. But to have CJ next to Trey, that backcourt, I don't even like that. I don't even like the look of it. Actually, the look of it annoys me. So, I mean, that would definitely have to change.
Well, I mean, CJ would have to go to the bench. I mean, it's inevitable. If you got a guy like Trey, if you got probably a Darius Garland or something too, like if you got Jay Nivey thing, Jay Nivey's obviously going to the bench. But if you get any of these big name guys, like CJ has to go to the bench because you have to start Trey Murphy after you give him a contract extension. You cannot not start him again. So whatever we don't like about CJ, as far as the small backcourt, I don't even think they're gonna do that because they can't. If you get Trae Young here, you have to send CJ to the bench. You have to. Defensively, it's not gonna work. or unless we're shifting our whole total philosophy and we're just gonna be an offense first team and we don't care about defense no more. You have to bench him. He's got to be the most highly paid 6 man in the league. It's either that or you just do the DeJounte Murray trade because they're not trading CJ right now, Lex.
Yeah, I know.
Can't trade him.
Somebody stated that
And they how he played with Zion too.
He is. Yeah, I know, but I mean the thing is CJ being paid too much. I mean, for him not to show up in big moments, it's like, dog, what are you getting paid all that money for? It don't match up. Like you ain't performing at a high level in the bright lights.
Player rep.
Yeah, don't nobody got time for that. Better come up off that bread. Shoot, get some to me and the rest of the panel. You know what I'm saying?
CJ McCollum making out like a fat rat right now, Lex.
Shoot. Huh?
Making out CJ McCollum making out like a fat rat right now with cheese.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. Y'all heard his interview. Y'all heard his interview, man. Look, look, both him and Brandon stated very clear, like they got their money. And CJ made that very clear. You know what I'm saying? So they already know what they doing. They know what they doing. You know, shoot, all the metaphors like as far as CJ, making them comments, always coming back to his money. Hey man, don't nobody got time for that. Ain't nobody stupid. We pay attention. He got his bread. He need to take a pay cut, and he got to go. Got to go.
CJ ain't taking no pay cut, Lex.
I ain't taking no pay cut, Lex.
I look at
exactly.
Not the politician.
Right, I'm 3-point shooting. I was one of the top 3-point shooters in the NBA. I ain't taking nothing, no pay cuts. I need this.
They got a lot of teams would happily take CJ if he was like 2 or 3 years younger.
Yeah. And the thing is, he don't have no quickness or nothing. He don't have none of that.
I mean, floater game. I gotta give him that, Lex. He get to his little dancing bag with that floater. You know?
All right. I want to look at everything. Okay. I want to look at everything.
Hold on now, Lex. You can't say you got a floater.
That dude is a dribble machine.
Oh yeah, he'll dance on
when he's feeling himself. And let me tell you something. He feels himself a lot. Oh, I'm dancing. Oh, I'm dancing. Oh, look what I'm doing. Oh, giving shimmy here, shimmy there. You know what I'm saying? Look, coming down, trying to put up them threes. Like, dog, move the ball. You are not hot. This ain't no heat check. It ain't no heat check. What are you doing? And then his poor decisions. That dude panics in the clutch too. Dude, you the reason why that 0-26 exists and an 0-27. Panicking. Yeah. He's been the main one handling that rock during the clutch in close games.
He'll put that sandwich up there with no conscience either.
Go back and look at him.
He'll put that ball. He'll take that shot with no conscience at all, man. I done seen him do it many times.
I ain't
saying no. Some of them he hit a lot of them.
And for a veteran, and you're making poor decisions like you're a rookie or a second-year player, hecky no. He's got to go.
I think we good, though. I think we good. I don't think we need much. This team just don't need to lose both Ingram and Jonas without getting a splash player. And I mean, a splash player, somebody that you can rely on when Zion don't have to do all the work. Simple as that. When we get that, Trey Murphy, I feel like he's going to cover his end. If he could pick it up a little bit on the defensive end and play like a Jaden Daniels or Jalen Williams, a little bit on that end, the Pelicans going to be straight. And it's going to be finally time to talk about Western Conference Finals with them because they not far behind the top 4 teams in the West, which is Minnesota, Denver, OKC, and
Dallas.
Who other team? Dallas. They're not far behind those teams. Every time they battled those teams, it was a good fight, and it wasn't bad blowouts. So
you make a great point about that, but it's a big difference in those teams that you mentioned.
Yeah.
and his coaching.
Yeah.
That's a big
Oh,
difference
absolutely.
between
Yeah.
Denver
Yeah,
going on. That's
yeah.
the equalizer, bro. That's the
And
equalizer.
you
Talent
know,
wise, with him.
you've heard us talk about the coaching, man. You know, you've seen Willie in action.
Man,
He is not it.
Well, y'all heard him. Master P said call him.
Okay, well, let's do it. Like at this point,
At this point, I'm with it,
we
man.
need
Get
to
P up in there,
try
man.
it. For real.
And
Brian,
change our intro music when they bring the players out to make them say,
Yeah.
Get
Nah,
Master
let's
P up in
try it.
there.
Do that IDDC intro, whatever they got,
Yeah.
ICDC intro.
The ICDC intro.
no.
ICDC college. Call 1-800-255-ICDC. Yes,
Man.
indeed. That Romeo up in there.
But I think isn't James Borrego leaving too? We getting hit
He's
from all
trying to.
cylinders right now. So
Yeah.
if James leave, I do think they got a bunch of young, hungry, college offensive minded coaches in there that we could, if you really evaluate them, they really have good offensive schemes. But I just don't think they take the time on evaluating coaches. They look at the price more than looking at the mindset of the coach you bringing in. Because there's no way that Van Gundy hiring should have happened.
Right.
Not with that offensive scheme. And there's no, like the Willie Green one, I'm pretty sure they extended him because that deal probably didn't cost them much. Did they ever get the numbers on that deal?
No, they don't even talk about it, bro.
They're not even talking about it. And if you ask
You got the Dennis Allen deal, but they might as well have the same amount of years and the same amount of money.
What's the Dennis Allen deal, DC?
5 years, $30 million, or something crazy. Why else wouldn't they show it, man?
Listed. That's their way. They hide the contracts from you, so you don't know. So
It's bad. If they hide it, it's bad. They knew it was gonna be bad.
They were all over his contract. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's public information. So, and apparently, if you're a reporter and you're asking about those contracts, you get your media card revoked.
Well, that's how they keep control. I mean, that's how you get a bunch of lapdogs. Now we have some good reporters there, and they know that most of them guys they work for these papers and these different media operations, and that's how they make their money. So they have to be quite agreeable and subservient to the rules of the Pelicans. So if the media manager tells you what questions not to ask, you better not ask them or risk not getting your pass, approved the next time.
You be going your ass back to ICDC college.
I think the Pelicans should stand firm, man. We only giving up if we giving up somebody, it's gonna be either CJ or Ingram. We ain't giving y'all nothing else. And just stand it like that, stand it and give us a splash play. You're gonna have to give up some of them picks. You could give up the 2 from this year, whether they want to do that, and give up a player like I give up Dyson. No lie, because we could do with slide Hawkins in there, slide Trey in there, slide Jose in there, and I think that'll be a good rotation. I think we'll have a healthy rotation.
So you think they gonna re-sign Jose to the extension?
That's the word.
Okay.
It's a couple million. They talking about the what is it, the option there, but then of course next year, I mean when it's up with, they talking about what, DC, about 4 to 5 million, something like that. I don't know if they go that route, but things could look a lot different. Like if you're talking about making this BI trade, and I think we devaluing BI a little bit in the trade market. He's a person that certain teams want. They want BI, and like I said, Atlanta gonna have a tough stance on Trey. I think DeJounte Murray does make a lot of sense for the Pelicans. But it depends on what direction this team's going in terms of who they want, who they, what they see a move that they need to make them kind of equalize that gap between not talent, but like when we talk about Minnesota and we talk about Denver, we talk about Memphis, we talk about Houston, we talk about all these other teams. And like we mentioned, the Clippers, they got a brand new building. So they're going to be feeling themselves trying to do some stuff, that guy up there. So at the end of the day, the Pelicans, they have to do something to kind of close the gap so to speak here. Let me give DJ an opportunity to chime in. DJ, are you awake, sir? How you doing tonight? DJ, are you here, sir? How you doing, DJ? DJ is not listening. He's not replying.
Wake up, DJ.
DJ is sleeping. Okay, all right, DJ. All right, appreciate it.
I think
Just
we
saying,
do this
man,
deal,
we got to
this
make a
next deal.
rule before 11:30 for DJ, man.
That
Gotta
next deal got to be somebody that Zion respect. You can't bring in nobody that when you make that trade, Zion look at it and be like, man, here we go again with this carrying the team stuff. It got to be somebody that Zion respect and be like, yeah, I could roll with him. And I think that's gonna be Donovan Mitchell.
Right.
Everybody else, Trae Young, he might respect Trae Young a little bit, but then I know he gonna think about that. How much you gonna have to give up on the defensive end, unless we go out and get somebody that could cover that in. Like not only have Herb on that end, because we gonna give up Dyson to somebody like that.
You could tell it's going to look different, though, to be honest with you, 2K, because the Pelicans right now, we got a lot of players. They talk about defense with Najee and Jose Alvarado and Herb Jones. But then when you potentially make this trade, you know, it kind of flips it, doesn't it, to make it look like you'll be more offensive gifted if that's the direction you're headed in with a Trae Young type. As opposed to it depends. This is going to be a crucial decision in terms of what the Pelicans need to do
And
to
I'm okay with that offensive way because we can't lose on both offense and defense. And we had a problem guarding OKC and scoring on OKC. So we got to pick our poison on that end. And I'd rather go with that offensive piece because it's working for the Pacers, even though they got some injury luck. But that scoring piece was something that got them all the way through the play-in tournament and playing against people. But I'll definitely take that scoring route, knowing that we got a Herb in the lineup. Because when it comes to the playoffs, everybody on the bench ain't going to play. You're going to have to get people in there that's solid in the rotation. And I think that rotation, the Hawkins, Trey, Murphy, Larry, and I don't know if Larry going to be here. But Hawk, Trey Murphy, Larry, and what's his name? Jose. That's a solid four coming off the bench. Know what they doing, been playing. Just get your starting five right. And then we straight. We ain't got too far to go. We right at the needle.
Yeah, good point on that, bro. DC, you want to comment on that before we get ready? I'm gonna give you and Lex opportunity to comment on that before we get ready to do what DJ did and shut the stream down.
No, I mean, I really ain't got no comment on that one. That's actually a good point. So I'm gonna go ahead and let that ride and defer to Lex.
Oh, thank you.
Shout out DC, much love, one love,
Much love, much love,
one love,
much love, much love.
Go ahead, Lex.
Yeah, I just this definitely the team just got to make a change, man, and get better. Like I said before, I definitely want to go after the guys who perform at a high level in the playoffs because we already know that if they perform well in the playoffs, that they're going to perform well in regular season. So if we go for those type guys, which is Trae Young, which is D. Mitch, I like those guys. I think with this team, everybody on this team has capitalized off of Zion's gravity. But Zion does not really have the luxury of capitalizing off of someone else's gravity, which would be nice for him to do, you know, to get him easier shots, you know, to get, you know, reciprocate that love. So that would be nice by getting, you know, that high IQ player, you know, guys that, you know the game, that, you know, that perform in the clutch, perform under pressure. That's what this team needs. I don't think it's so much because I know the last time 2K you stated that it's not so much as getting like a star because obviously, you know, you're seeing a lot of these super teams and they're not doing well. It's not so much as that. And I actually agree with you on that. But just getting guys that can really make a difference like down the stretch. obviously that link up, and we basically express those things with Trae Young and D Mitch. Now, obviously there's gonna be like pros and cons to every situation. Just like with when Don was talking about with D Mitch, I didn't, really agree with everything he was saying as far as with D Mitch, because he is a combo guard, and I'm really familiar with D Mitch. He went to Louisville, and so Louisville is my college team, and I've been familiar with him since high school. But he was known like because Rick Pitino was the head coach of Louisville, and he always said, "You did not get into the game unless you play defense." A lot of people don't know this. D Mitch was drafted for his defense, not his offense. He was basically forced into his offensive game, because that's what Utah needed. So, but best believe D Mitch is actually a defensive player. A lot of people don't know that. I mean, I can tell you about it because I watched all the Louisville games. I'm familiar with his game, and Rick Pitino is a straight up defensive coach. That's what he's known for. Full court pressing. That's Rick Pitino. Okay. So you have to be in astronomical shape. You have to play on that end of the floor. So I actually like D Mitch because of that fact, because he is a two-way player in my mind. Most people probably disagree, but again, that's what I'm going off of, because that's what he showed like in college, and that's what he was drafted for at Utah. But yeah, between those two guys, I like those two guys. As far as big men, I'm not really gone off of Jared Allen like that. Jared Allen, DC, and I know you brought this up earlier, but you said, why have they, the Cavs been trying to trade him? Well, last season, when the lights were really bright for Jared Allen, he didn't perform well. And now with this injury, they wanted him to get a shot, I think in his leg or wherever he was having an injury at, so he could play and help the team. He didn't want to do that. Yeah, he refused. So
my point, Lex, was why haven't they been able to trade him? They've been trying to trade him for 2 years. That's what I was saying.
Well,
and saying that the asking price for him is probably more than what most people want to pay.
Wasn't that a part of that injuries? Because injuries hit the team, and he just started balling. Remember
he
that?
was balling, like
yeah, he was balling.
He actually him and Darius Garland was over there lighting it up, man. And when Darius Garland went down, that boy had 30-point games, and he was balling out of control.
Right.
I mean, but I think people don't want him because, again, in the playoffs, he doesn't do the greatest. Like, again, he's like a regular season guy. And that's great in regular season, but for the Pelicans, what are the Pelicans trying to do? We trying to win at a high level, trying to advance in the playoffs. And if that's the goal, then we need that goal to carry over within the trades of getting the guys that are going to perform well. Because if you get guys that perform well in the playoffs, they're going to perform well in regular season. We want to go for that.
The big stage.
The big stage, and not, we need you to do well in regular season. No, we have guys here right now that, regular season was great. Road Warriors, great. Top 10 defense, great. Top 10, 15 offense, great. Playoffs. Where did all that stuff go? You know what I'm saying? Like, we need that high performance on the big stages so that we can start building the Pelicans brand, building that Pelicans name as, hey, we're playoff contenders and not playoff pretenders.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting this year, man, to see what moves the Pelicans gonna make, man. It's gonna be fun to see what they do indeed, man. Let me give DJ one last opportunity to resurrect himself talking on the podcast. DJ, are you there? Calling DJ. Calling DJ. Are you there, DJ? DJ, unmute yourself and talk to the family. DJ. There's nothing going on there. He is sound asleep in dreamland. All right. He has left the building, says Ray Ray. DJ has left the building. He is gone. All right. Shout out to 2K Nola, man, for popping and dropping in.
Appreciate you.
Shout out to you, my brother. Thank you as always. Shout out to DC, man. Appreciate y'all make sure y'all go see the new movie One Love, man. Show DC some love by going to see One Love. Get your tickets. I know it's been out for a while. We need at least 5 more people in DC will get a free Jamaican lager, he says. So y'all go there, 5 more tickets, and DC rather will get that free Jamaican beer that he loves, that red stripe. DC.
I'm glad you chose violence, man.
That's right. Shout out to you.
I'm so glad. I shot the sheriff.
But he didn't shoot the deputy.
He didn't shoot the deputy.
Yes.
That's violence.
That's who shot him.
You said that's violence. That ain't violence. That's justice.
Here you go. All right. So anyway, fans, I appreciate y'all for chiming in tonight, man. Yeah, watching that movie Get Out, he is in sunken place.
He in the hallway.
Damn.
hey, DC, you should try doing a selfie, like running. You'll run in the forest, okay, and breathing out hard and stuff.
Wait, hold up, I missed that one.
Get out the hallway, DC.
I'm gonna go run in the forest and breathe. What?
In the hallway right damn now. You don't hear that? You been stuck in the hallway.
Run.
Nah, I just got big ceilings where I'm at, man. That's all.
Oh yeah, you doing it like
vaulted ceilings?
Doing it like that. Big ceilings, man. Big ceilings.
You doing it like that on the island, brother? I'm gonna have to come down there and visit you, brother. See what come down to the island, brother.
I mean,
gas up your jet. Come on over here, bro.
A little bit.
What you say?
Can we take a tour?
Not right now.
Ready to leave out here. Listen, I appreciate all y'all for chiming in tonight, man. We'll be back later on next week, man, talking more about the Pelicans' latest developments, man. Moves in to happen. We seen Trajan Langdon. Shout out to Trajan. Finally, 3 times the charm. Never quit until you get what you want. He ended up as a VP of the Detroit Pistons. Pretty sure Bryce, what's the man name? Bryce something or other.
Damn, goddamn,
got the man name.
Bryce Graham.
Bryce, no, it's Bryce.
Bryson.
It's Bryson something or other. Your name.
Bryce Graham.
Bryson Graham.
We just went over this last time.
I was right.
Bryson Graham. That's right.
I just thought it sounded right.
Thank you, Lex. You see, got it wrong. So thank you, Lex. Appreciate that.
You know how I do
all
it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You see, got it wrong. Talking about Bryson Graham. I'm like, what this dude, street fighter man ass dude over here. All right, but listen, man, we're gonna get ready.
Thank you, Jamal. Thank you. We gathered that. So basically, Griff has been officially hired as the GM.
Pretty much. And he's got a coffee assistant.
Oh, goodness gracious, man. Oh,
so who we drafting now, man?
2K did have a good point, though. The fact that Trajan is not there, I think, man, we about to, ain't no telling what we about to see, man.
Lex, we ain't about to see nothing, Lex, because he wasn't making the picks anyway. Whoever he was telling them to draft, he's like, I got you. We'll take you into consideration. And
Swin, if you are listening, girl, come on, man. Represent. Step it up. Step your game up.
Swin she should have been the person
Yes.
that's in the job. She is a winner. She won everywhere. That's who you want winning the team. That's who you want running the team. A person that has a kind of resume, Olympic gold medals, championships in college, 3 championships as a pro. She's a Hall of Famer. This lady has won everywhere. That's who you want running the team.
She knows basketball.
She knows ball and not the producer of One Love. We need that. We need her running the team. All right. So with that being said, let me get out on that.
That was cute.
Appreciate y'all for hollering at us on this show. Listen, man, we're going to get at y'all on another one, man. We appreciate you. We'll be back next week with some more PPR flash reports and other Pelicans news, man. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We're going to hear y'all on the next side. Much love. Go Pels.
Show us the edge. Yes. The chip on the shoulders, the fight and the passion that comes from within. Whoa. Try to win on every level. Yeah. Expectations high. Gotta show them you can fly. Play harder, better, smarter. Baby, put the league on notice. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah. Whoa, done seen the walk of shame enough. Wanna see the walk of winning, time to come up and bring out the alcohol. Don't every play, every possession. How bad you want it, love, do you want it all? This ain't a blood of love, built for something greater. Attacking all obstacles, coming for the ring, my precious. You got the juice, the will, the heart, the fire. Show them the proof, show them that it shall be done. Show me the edge, yeah, yeah, yeah. Play with the edge, yeah. Show me the edge, yeah.
You're listening to the Pelicans Postgame Report on the PRO Media Network for all things Pelicans.
TheWhoThatDaily.com. That's right, TheWhoThatDaily.com. Your one-stop shop for everything New Orleans Saints, New Orleans Pelicans, LSU Tigers, even the top flight boxing news. So if you're a Who That and you're looking for a place to stay up on your team, TheWhoThatDaily.com is your site. TheWhoThatDaily.com for the sport Who That in all of us. That's right, the Pro Shop is the platform store where you can go and buy all the latest merch to support the platform. Available at the Pro Shops, we have dozens of hundreds of products available for you and your family. Unisex tees for men and women, hoodies and sweatshirts, tank tops, kids and baby items, long sleeve tees, mugs, pillows, wall art, bath bedding, face masks, phone cases, stickers, bags, fanny packs, socks, hats, and many other items. Please feel free to check out the Pro Shops. The link is in the description section below. And remember, it helps the platform.